Welcome to the party, pal. Happy New Year. This is your friendly neighborhood master chef. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me today in my illustrious channel. I've got a handful of folks here with me tonight to give you and me, I guess, 'cause I don't know what their lists are, their top five and their top worst films of 2022. Now, the way we're going to do it, I've got it sort of clarified down below in the banner, but the way we're going to do it is anything you've seen in 2022 is up for grabs. If you've been following since this entire year, my goal was to watch 1,000 movies this year. I've blown past it. I'm at 1,080 at the moment, so it was hard to put my list together. So I wanted to make sure. Actually, a lot of the stuff I watched is from this year that I've put on the list, but it's up for grabs. So if you're gonna see something from the 80s or the 70s, don't freak out because it's not 2022. It counts as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna introduce my panel in a moment. But first of all, I gotta hit the theme song.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, motherfucker.
Let's do it. Let's bring in some peeps. First of all, I'm gonna introduce someone who's new to the panel, a dear friend of mine, and a filmmaker that you Vinegar Syndrome fans should know. And if you don't, shame on you. Ladies and gentlemen, Rolf Knewsky. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the name, he directed, I think, probably one of the best Vinegar Syndrome movies ever released, and one of my favorite movies of all time. There's Nothing Out There is a masterpiece, and you are the mastermind behind that, sir.
Yes, I'm wearing the T-shirt. The
there
new one.
You are. That's amazing. Now, I know you can't talk too much, but can you hint at potentially a new release coming soon?
Yes, there will be a new release coming later this year, maybe around spring break. And what's kind of cool is there's going to be probably a bonus disc of all my home movies from the age of 14 to 19.
Amazing! Wow, now a treasure trove indeed.
Yeah.
And now you not just that movie. You just had a recent movie come out through Ronin Flicks, right?
Yes, they're Nightmare Man.
And how was that revisiting all that? Was that kind of amazing to have that brought back to life in a sense? I mean, it's been out. It's not like it's been hidden.
Yes, I mean that was my most widest released film through Lionsgate and the 8 films to die for After Dark. But this is the first time it came out on a Blu-ray, and Ronin Flicks did a really nice job, and a brand new featurette with me and Tiffany Shapis and Blythe Metz and Esther Goodstein, the producer, Jeff Farley, who did the effects. So it's a really nice package.
That's amazing. Rolf, I'm going to have you on to talk filmmaking on another stream, but tonight we're doing top fives. Let me bring in the rest of the panel here. You know him, you love him. He's a mainstay. Some might call him an anchor to the channel, and that is Tracker Chaos, part of the Chaos family. How are you, Tracker Chaos?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Great. You have your list ready to go?
Both lists, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I'm going to see some Merhi on there. Is that a possibility?
That's a whole other list, and it's a whole other stream for that one.
Gotcha. Okay. We'll remember. We'll have the best and worst of Merhi, and it's basically probably just worst.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm gonna bring in. I don't want to leave her for last because she's amazing, and she basically is gonna add a lot of class to this stream. Lady Sasha, how are you?
I'm doing all right. The day I wear a sweatshirt is when you say I'm going to add some class. I appreciate it though. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I always love chatting with you, and I'm honored that you can make some time and give us your top fives. All right, so we have. Let me do all the new people, the old people first, then I'll bring in some more new people. Another essentially co-anchor to the channel here, Mr. Tony the Dead. How are you, sir?
Hello. I'm doing good.
Are you wearing a tuxedo? Did you dress up for the event? Is that what you got? Oh, I love it. Fantastic.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah.
Fancy son of a bitch.
It's fancy.
You got it.
All right. Another not old face to the channel. You know him, you love him. He's a magical man. Mr. LD Madeira Magic.
I love that turn. The turning point.
Had to
It's
try
like a
it out.
sitcom.
Hey, Master Chaos, and hey to everybody else, and happy holidays to all of you.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Same to you, yeah.
What are you wearing?
Well,
I know, right?
I'm wearing my Marvel
Marvel.
Comics shirt tonight.
Okay. It just looked like an old lady's head from what I could see. So I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, she's that's a MODOK right on top there.
So pretty close to an old lady, yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. Fairly new to the channel. He's been on technically not on this stream, so new to this channel, but we've hung out before. Lennon Hawk, what's up, man?
Hello, hello. Looking forward to celebrating success and excoriating failure tonight.
Oh man, that's my favorite thing. You know me. That makes me so happy. So a question: does heartbreak feel good in a place like this?
Well, considering I got dumped on the night I went to go see Terrifier 2, yes, sometimes it does.
Oh my god,
Mm.
must have made that a incredibly horrifying and terrifying experience. That's awful. Well, thanks for cheering everybody up. Anyway, moving on.
Hopefully it's not really being dumped, but actually dodging a bullet in the long run.
Ah, that's
Right.
a good one.
Well, to go with
That's
the Matrix in the background, yeah.
Yes.
Good way to put it. Good way to put it. Absolutely. All right, so we got two new faces to the channel. First off, I'm gonna bring on a fellow YouTuber and a guy who loves his s'mores, Mr. S'mores Indoors. What's up, man?
What's up, everyone? Great to be here with you guys tonight.
Honored to have you. I'm glad you can make some time, man. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
And I'm looking forward to chatting movies. By
Absolutely.
the way, a big faux pas on my part. Sorry, it's towards the end of the year. Things are busy. I forgot to put links for everybody in the description. So if anybody in the live chat is watching, do me a favor. Go find their channels and drop the links in the comments, please. I'll make sure that I'll highlight those so people are aware that you can find them in the comments. And then after the show, I'll go back and put them in the description. So that's my bad. But honestly, just type in what their names say on YouTube and you'll be able to find it. But everybody here is amazing. Now I want to bring in Philip Jeffries. He's a writer. He's a critic, and he's a subscriber and someone who appreciates my acid take on cinema. How you doing, bud?
I am very well, and I am honored to be here, MC. It's quite surreal to be here, and amongst all you fine folks, it's lovely, and I wish you a happy New Year, happy holidays, everything. And I'm just happy to be a part of this whole shindig. And let's see what happens. Let's see what horrible films we find and what great films we find.
Absolutely. I'm very curious how much carryover we'll have with our lists. I imagine there's gonna. I can think of one that's probably gonna be on a lot of people's lists, but who knows? Who knows? I might.
What was that? Halloween Ends? Is that the Corey Cunningham?
Well, that's
film?
that's two then. That's two that may be on everybody's list. But all right, let me check in with the chat real quick, and then we'll start the countdown.
Why?
Daniel says, shout out from Flesh Wound Features. I'm curious to see your list, Corey. Well, stay tuned. You will see it. Tony Man says, Happy New Year, Master Chaos guests and chat. What's up? Happy to have you here, bud. Tony says, Happy New Year. Holland, what's up? Holland is hanging out with us. Sean 420, what's up? Happy holidays to you. Tony Man says, LD in the house. I love the magic. And then in parentheses, what did I just watch?
Okay, I guess it's a double shout out. I'll take it.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll take it too. Any shout out is a good shout out.
Yeah.
That's good. Luke says, Philip, I arrived right as you were arriving. Well, he's been here for a while, Luke. You were late. You were late.
Just quickly, Luke, shout out to you. He is a wonderful guy. He reads my reviews, and he's a great writer himself, and he is a fan of yours. And so I had a whole shout-out list because, interestingly enough, the people who read me like you as well. So there you go. So Luke, big shout out to you. And his wife has allowed him to have the Vinegar Syndrome subscription for the next year, so you can talk to him about that all you want.
Luke, save your money. I'm sure there's other things you can buy. Please don't waste your money. But anyway, it's your money. Do what you gotta do. Paul, what's up? I'm happy to have you here. Sean says Halloween ends is poop. Well, we may agree with you. All right, let's get into it. Let's do our worst of. So everyone prep your lists here. I'm going to get my... Where the hell did I put it? Oh, here it is. All right. Okay, so we're going to do worst of. Now, remember, it's anything you watched in 2022. It may not be something that's, came out this year. That's fine. It's completely fine. Just as long as something you watched, you experienced, and that you have strong feelings about either way. In the chat, there was another guest who wasn't able to make it, Mr. Jeff Mandel, the director of the Christmas classic Elves, which is a mind-blowing experience.
Oh, I reviewed that. But that's the one with the Kung Fu Santa, right?
No, that's the one with the Nazi elves that want.
Yeah. The Kung Fu Santa fought. Yeah, the Kung Fu Santa fought the Nazi elves with his Kung Fu nuns.
No, there's no nuns in that. I think you're mistaken.
I'm mixing two front teeth up with elves because they both have elves in it. My bad.
Yeah, Two Front Teeth is a whole other creation. Yeah. No worries, Jeff. Get back to work. He's working on a script and he has a deadline, so he's got to do what he's got to do. No worries, man. All right, number 5. I don't have a countdown thing. We're just gonna talk it out. Okay, so number 5 worst for me. This is a movie nobody saw except those who suffered through it on Voyage to the Bottom of the Barrel, which is a live review panel show that I do. Where we specifically focus on horrible movies or movies that no one's ever even talked about or mentioned. I'm sure you've never heard of this movie. It's a movie called The Korean from Seoul. That's my number 5. Korean from Seoul is, in my opinion, the definition of complete cinematic disaster on every level. It's an art house movie. It's a Matrix ripoff. I don't even know what it's about. It's an Australian movie about a Korean guy who goes to work in this cereal factory, but he's also a guitar player a street guitar player. It's a nonsense movie. It'll hurt your brain. It's almost 2 hours long, and it was absolutely one of the most painful experiences of 2022 for me. So that's my number 5, The Korean from Seoul. Rolf, give us your number 5.
All right, so I chose films that I mostly saw this year that were made this year, and that made me angry, not just bad. So, number 5 for me was Thor: Love and Thunder.
I forgot that even came out, and I watched it.
Oh man!
Because I loved the last one, Ragnarok, but this one I thought just. The humor didn't work. The villains were finding the tone of the movie. It was just a big mess. And Natalie Portman, although I love her and she looked great in the film, wasted in a throwaway role. Sad.
Yeah, I think that's actually where I decided I'm not gonna watch Marvel anymore. Like I just saw the trailer and I'm like, I think I'm good. I think I'm out at that point. I didn't even watch Doctor Strange, which I wanted because of Sam Raimi, but.
Didn't love that one either.
There you go. All right, so Thor is number 5. Tracker, what's your number 5 worst?
First of all, let me say, is it just me or does everybody else feel like they're on Hollywood Squares? Because
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I would agree.
Wrong show. Okay, my number 5 is. Are we gonna do the worst one first, or we're gonna build up to?
Well,
the worst?
It doesn't matter. I mean,
doesn't matter.
Okay. There's no real order. It's just 5 of the shittiest things you've seen.
Okay, I've got to say that the tome I use for my worst, because it's hard for me to pick worst, is thanks to MC and Tony over here, because I used Voyage as my tome for this, more or less.
Gotcha.
So number 5 is Bad Magic. The Polonia Brothers movie.
Wow. Okay.
I thought it was funny in certain angles, but I enjoy those better when I used to watch them with you and with BC. But when you watch something like that by yourself, it's hard. it's hard. So yeah, Bad Magic was my number 5.
Okay, number 5. Luke is dropping a comment here. He says, "I'm absolutely thrilled to throw away my money on Vincent." All right. Glad to hear it. Okay. Lady Sasha, what is your number 5 worst?
A movie that I discovered, I think it might have been on Tubi, called Bitch Ass.
Oh, yes. Terrible.
Man.
Yeah, they obviously had a really low budget, but still all they did was like mix the plot of Prom Night with the traps from Saw, but a little bit of Escape Room, and it's like a smorgasbord of other horror movies that they couldn't recreate or homage correctly. I'm hoping that was the director's like their very first thing, because their heart, you could see where their heart was in it, but it was so bad.
Yeah, I concur. I actually know I know the actor who plays like the lead gangster guy, who was like the head of whatever the gang members that he comes in towards the end to kind of rescue the kids. So I knew that guy. I actually didn't know he was in the movie, so I started watching him like, oh man. And then the movie unspooled. I agree, completely wasted concept. Not a scary villain. The whole thing with the games was completely ridiculous. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
I almost didn't want to put it on my worst because I could tell that they really wanted to make a good movie, and I hate to crap on people's effort, but maybe next time out they'll do better.
Hopefully, fingers crossed they get it next time out. By the way, everybody watching live, if you want to drop your number 5 worst movie, do that, and I will highlight it as it comes on. If you drop a super chat, we'll go to your comment immediately. Those are open as well. All right, Tony, number 5 worst.
I would have to say probably The Nun. I watched it finally this year.
Okay.
And if for people that don't know, The Nun terrifies me. Like from Conjuring 2.
That's right.
Freaks me out. I legit got scared. And I did not get scared in The Nun. I didn't like the story. I just remember being just very disappointed watching it this year. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Nun for that one.
Yeah, that's interesting because you were. I remember I played a nun prank on one of the live shows once, and that was so funny that you were terrified of it, and you finally saw it, and it was nothing. It had no teeth in its mouth. That's crazy.
I mean, she was freaky in it, but it didn't give me that. I want the fear as well. That's the weird thing. But it didn't really bother me. I think because of the story sucking.
When I saw The Nun, I felt it was like you were watching someone going through a House of Horror maze.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, Halloween Horror Nights. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And the ending was ripped off of Demon Knight.
I don't even remember how it ended. That's how much I don't like it.
Yeah. I can see that, yeah. All right, very good. LD, number 5 worst.
First off, MC, just want to say my wife gives you a really big hello to you and the whole family.
Great. Same to her.
So number 5 on my list is Matrix Resurrection.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that shit. Yes.
Yeah. It's the sequel that no one asked for. It's the sequel we didn't want, and it's the sequel that we don't want to have ever again. Made absolutely no sense. The whole time I'm thinking, okay, how is this possible? Okay, how is this possible? And then when they finally explain it, I'm like, that's not fucking possible. So yeah. So yeah, that's my number 5.
All right.
Yeah, I'm still shocked that people can talk themselves into liking that. I don't understand. I didn't even finish it. We were like, oh, well, it was late at night. We're like, we'll finish it tomorrow. We just never got back to it. So I honestly don't even know how the movie ends, but I just didn't give a crap.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Horrible.
I was thinking that the director, I was like, she did it by herself, and I'm like, you need your sister. You need your sister. Y'all two were the dream team.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree.
I still have to see it, but I haven't heard anything good.
And you won't.
No, probably not.
It turns the Matrix into a video game or something. I didn't know what the shit was going on. Nonsense. Anyway, Lennon Hawk. I bet you someone's going to say, my favorite movie I saw this year was Matrix Resurrection. But maybe not. Who knows? All right, Lennon Hawk, go ahead. 5.
My number 5 worst was a movie called 365 Days This Day. It's the second movie of a trilogy of Polish 50 Shades of Grey knockoffs about a mafioso who kidnaps a woman and says, like, I'll keep you for a year, and if you fall in love with me, great, and if not, I'll let you go after a year. In the second one, she's kidnapped by a second mafioso, but so that she keeps the moral high ground, all of her sex scenes with that guy are dream sequences. And when she's not having sex with them, the rest of the movie are montages that look like perfume commercials for, like, Dior, set to generic pop songs. And then the ending is a 5-way Mexican standoff that involves an evil twin. So, yeah, that was garbage.
Oh, my God.
Voyage material, maybe?
Oh, God. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's pretty hard. That's maybe Blake will send that our way. Okay, interesting choice, but I love it. I love that. That's great. Okay, S'mores, what do you got for number 5?
Well, I want to start by prefacing my list. Much like Rolf, I've kind of wanted to go with just 2022 movies to reflect on what I did see this year. So my number 5, I'll admit that I'm not a big fan of this franchise. So my number 5 is Scream 5.
Okay.
With all the time in between 4 and 5, I was hoping they would do more to get me into the franchise, but it just fell a little flat for me. So that's my number 5.
Yeah, I'm a huge Scream guy, and I still don't know how I feel about it, honestly. I think, honestly, it's going to depend on what 6 brings to the table. If it could redeem the 5th one, or it could completely crash and burn. We'll see.
Sure.
We'll see.
Yep.
But that's fair. Absolutely, I think that does belong on the list. Okay, Philip, what do you got for number 5?
Well, this might shock you, but I don't watch a lot of new movies. I don't go out to the cinema much. Post-COVID, I don't know. I've been to a couple things, and I've had some bad experiences cinematically, and then also my city's falling apart. And
man.
So there are interesting things that have happened. But anyway, people who might know me, some friends. Well, anyway, my 5th worst, and it's not that bad, and this is sacrilege to Canada. I am now shitting on my own nation.
Uh-oh.
This here.
Expect no mercy.
Expect no mercy, motherfuckers.
Hey, Verhey, I knew he was going to show up on this.
So, this is the only time he's going to, because you know what? I'm a little hard. You know what? I'm softer on him because Canada. Okay. So no, but no, this is a piece of shit. Yeah, this goes at number 5, and so that really, quite simply, sums it up. Do I need to say anything more? Fuck this film. And there you go. That's my number 5. Goodbye.
Perfect reason why you should always try before you buy. Don't blind buy. In this day and age, it's dangerous.
You saw my BSA jokes. You saw my crucifixion.
I saw it. You got into a lot of hot water with the cardboard people, but
I cried a lot. But anyway, it's okay. Yes. I'm good.
Now you're back at it. Jaden says, I just popped in. By the way, just saw it today, but the new Whitney Houston biopic is fantastic. Made my top 5 of the year with 1 day left. Wow, great. Well, there you go. Haven't watched it yet, but I hear pretty good things. I think it's in limited release, though. But if anybody else saw it, let me know. Tony Man says, Jeepers Creepers Reborn, one of the worst of 22. I wonder if it's going to appear on this list. I'm curious. We'll see. That's not a hint. I don't have it on mine, but I would not be surprised. All right, number 4. Let's go. Number 4. This is a movie that nobody saw, but it was based on a franchise that I absolutely adored. And then I said, okay, well, they're gonna bring it back. And then when they casted this person, I knew, nope, this is gonna be shit ass pizza for nobody to eat. And I was correct. And that is the film Confess Fletch. Awful. Awful. No, they got it all wrong. All wrong. John Hamm is not funny. The script is terrible. No jokes. Everything is so flat and dry and dull. Not a fan. I thought it was absolute garbage.
Is
my
it
man-
related to the Chevy Chase Fletch movie?
Yeah, it's Fletch.
Oh.
And my man
Yeah.
Kyle MacLachlan's in there. Like, what's house? I mean,
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, the cast is good. It's not. He doesn't really do the costumes, which is kind of what you expect Fletch to do, you know. And then whenever he's in detective mode, he's just so bland. So bad. Just like complete bloodless garbage.
No,
Yeah.
I like Cam, but when I saw they were doing that one, I didn't see the I thought it was a TV show, to be honest.
Mhm.
But I saw him as Fletch. I thought, no, I don't see that.
No,
He's too
There was-
serious.
he's too serious. There was at one point Kevin Smith was gonna do it with I think Jason Lee.
Yeah,
I think
Jason
that could have worked.
That could
but-
have worked, I think. Yeah.
This is absolute. I mean, to the point that I think it was even in LA. I think it played in only like 4 theaters. So trash. Did not like it. All right, number 4, Rolf. What do you got?
Number 4 was a film that hopefully nobody saw, because it proves when you have way too much money, no script, but the clout to get anything made, you can do it. Moonfall.
Oh,
Roland Emmerich.
Oh.
Yeah, I heard
Wow.
about that.
Anyone see that one?
No.
I'm not.
It feels like if the asylum had $200 million to spend on a movie,
Oh.
and they would have done it better.
yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's when I saw the poster. I'm like, that looks like an asylum movie with a budget.
Yeah,
but at least
great
that
cast,
guy,
wasted.
at least that guy from Game of Thrones got another role. You know. At least. he
Oh,
got another
yeah.
role.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's good though. He's great. I think he's awesome. All right. Well, that's good. I think that's there's actually a movie on my best list that might appear in some people's worst, but we'll see. We'll see.
Oh.
In keeping with Moonfall, I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's sort of a kind of a movie like that. Anyway, all right, very good. Tracker Chaos, number 4.
4, Tony's favorite movie, Christmas with Cookie.
Oh man.
Yeah. The only thing good about that movie was the cookies the guy was eating, and that's about it.
Yeah, Christmas with Cookie is a shot-on-video Christmas movie
Yeah.
that's about 15 minutes long, and I think literally only the people who watched the Voyage episode have seen that movie, and the people who made it, I guess.
Not even.
Probably not. They needed an editor. That's true.
Yeah.
Christmas with Cookie. Jesus Christ, that's a good one. All right, Lady Sasha, number 4.
I actually changed my number 4 after seeing Tony Mann's post only because I forgot that I saw this movie.
Oh.
I originally had Crimes of the Future because I called it Crimes of Boredom. I fell asleep on it, and I'm like, and I love Cronenberg, but dude, that was so boring. So I marked that one off and changed it to Jeepers Creepers Reborn, because if you don't have Jonathan Breck as the Creeper, you don't have a Jeepers Creepers movie. That's only one of my complaints. It was so bad. Like, I don't even know why it was released. Was it released to theaters? I saw it on streaming.
Theaters. I saw it on theaters for like a week.
There's direct to Netflix movies that are better. There's Tubi originals that are better than what they did with that. They just had one house set, sent some people in it, had them say a few Gen Z-ish things about social media, and then it was just a regular slasher movie. Like, it was terrible. And the creeper's wings, they couldn't even pay for the CGI to make the creeper's wings, come out the way. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Oh.
I concur. It felt like the Halloween resurrection of the Jeepers Creepers movie.
Yes.
They're stuck in the house. I'm like, how does he not kill them already? This house is big.
Was this new one directed by the really, really morally righteous fella?
No,
who
that's
directed
what
the first few.
I was going to say, I didn't want to have an unpopular opinion, but the pedo made a better movie.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, but he did.
They tend to do that.
Yeah.
Canceled. I thought I was going to be the only one canceled on this stream tonight.
No, I already have my apology letter written.
Okay, good.
You know, something, learning and growing,
Well, I'm glad
right.
you're back.
Jeepers Creepers 4 was ass. Absolutely. Sean says his number 5 was Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. There you go. That's a throwback. Jason says They Them was the absolute worst movie I watched this year. He goes on to say Kevin Bacon owed someone a nasty back alley handjob favor or something.
Wow.
It's a shame because he was the best thing in that movie.
Yeah.
Its biggest issue is it could not decide whether it wanted to be a psychological thriller or a slasher. And when it was doing psychological thriller with Kevin Bacon, it was great. When it tried to do slasher, it was all cutaways and like, I don't know whether it was PG-13 or what, but nobody wants a PG-13 slasher.
Did you know that Kevin Bacon was paid $15 for that movie?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. He was doing a favor for a friend.
$15 a man. It was $15.
Wow, Rolf, we should reach out to him for some Asylum movies, man.
Yeah.
We can afford that, right? That's amazing. All right, Tony, number 4.
Number 4 was a movie called Beast with how do you say his name?
Oh, Idris Elba.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
The Lion movie.
He wasn't. I think he's a great actor, but in this, it was just like I didn't believe they were his daughters. He kind of like it seemed like they were ad-libbing a lot, and I was stoned out of my mind, and I still hated this movie. Just so everybody knows, like it usually makes it better. That's how I have to watch the Voyage movies. But I did not like this. I thought it was bad. The lion was CGI'd and stuff. It's just like I could not get into it.
Did he punch the lion? Like in the trailer, it implied that he punched the lion in the face.
I think I remember him punching the lion.
That's awesome.
It was just like they were so annoying. The ad-libbing it was like, Daddy, it got on my nerves. I guess I got angry now I think about it. But yeah,
What's interesting is this is based on a true story, and a few years ago they made another movie of the same thing called Prey with a white couple family in the car, and it's a better movie because it's real lions, and yeah, check it out if you can.
Oh wow!
Compare.
Real lions always better. Anybody ever see Roar? That movie's insane.
Oh yes,
I have.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
I don't remember it.
That must be seen by everybody.
Yeah, that's a young Melanie Griffith gets and her family gets stuck in a house with like actual lions and tigers and they're like actually being attacked. People like nearly died on that movie. It's insane.
Oh, wow. Everybody. It's
everybody died.
You got to see the documentary after you see the movie because you can't believe it.
It's crazy. All right, good one, Tony. LD, what do you got for number 4?
So this one is actually a live-action remake, Pinocchio.
Oh, wait, which live
That's
action?
the Guillermo del Toro?
No, the Disney you're talking about.
Yeah.
Zemeckis.
Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, the Tom Hanks
okay.
one. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And yeah, the reason why I have that in my worst list is because I feel like they took a lot of creative license with this, and you know, I'm obviously going to see how much they honor the original, and story-wise, they kind of did, but like there was like a lot of weird things that they did. Like they had one character, they introduced this new character who was like this young ballerina girl whose legs didn't work, and for some reason, she's just there. She adds nothing to the story whatsoever. Later on, she meets up with Pinocchio, and you're thinking she's going to say something like, "Oh yeah, I see your dad. He was out in the ocean with Monstro." But no, Pinocchio says, "I'm looking for my dad." She's like, "Okay, see ya." And it's like, why the fuck are you here? You know, seriously. and then Monstro, instead of a whale, he's like some weird squid thing with like tentacles. It was like very, very weird. And what really killed it for me, and I don't want to give too much of a spoiler, but how they ended the film really pissed me off. It really pissed me off how they ended the film, because again, I don't want to give a spoiler, but it's kind of, they made it a little more open-ended, which frustrated the hell out of me.
Did you say that there are ballerinas in it that with legs that don't work?
There's one ballerina. She works with Stromboli. Yeah.
Because I've known ballerinas, but their legs have always worked.
He's always wanted to know.
Can you really be a ballerina if you don't?
So she was just a girl with a pig.
How does it work? I don't know.
Well,
I'm picturing. I don't know why I'm picturing the dude from Family Guy, his friend, when they went roller skating and he had the skates on his hands. I forget that character's name.
I don't know why you're picturing that either.
Well, apparently, I believe this character, she had dreams of being a ballerina, but she couldn't because she has like braces on her legs. But then again, she's working in a puppet show. So
But
what
then
does this have to do with anything?
She should do stand-up comedy then. I mean, she should try that out. I mean,
I guess, or being her own freaking movie, one where she actually does something for the story,
Then I would suggest you don't watch Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Oh no.
I just watched that one, and honestly, it's the most depressing fucking movie of the year. It's not on my list, but it is bleak as fuck. I mean, that guy goes fucking dark to the point you're like, I hate Pinocchio now. I never want to watch a Pinocchio story.
Oh man.
To the point, I'm not even gonna say it, but the last 5 minutes, it's almost like he's going ha 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 to everybody. Like what the shit, dude? Why did you go that way? It's weird.
Man.
Anyway, I won't say anything else. It's weird that the one Pinocchio movie that was actually enjoyable was the Pauly Shore one where he sings.
Oh.
That's the thing. Seek it out. It's called Pinocchio, A True Story. Absolute garbage, but it's so fun. And at the end of the day, if you're having a good time, that's all that matters. Lennon Hawk, number 4.
Number 4 was the American remake of Goodnight Mommy. I'm not even that big a fan of the original, but the remake stripped everything that was transgressive or interesting about that and made it so bland. Like, to give you an idea, it was rated R just for language and nothing else. So they kept the basic story the same, the basic twist the same. They just stripped it of everything that made that interesting or unique or edgy, and it's just the most bland Amazon Prime original TV movie version of that story they could have possibly made.
Now, I haven't seen it, but would you recommend the original?
The original is a mild recommendation. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think it's mismarketed. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I feel like they mismarketed it. The original had a trailer that went viral on Twitter for being so creepy, and they kind of marketed it as this scary horror movie when it's more of a psychological thriller with a mystery reveal type twist. And they should stop doing it. Don't market thrillers as horror movies because it will disappoint the audience.
I agree. Excellent. I love these lists because you never know what's going to pop up on this. This is amazing. Okay, S'mores Indoors. What do you got for number 4?
All right, so my number 4, I'm almost ashamed to have on my list because I interviewed the star of this movie on my channel. Sweet girl, but I can't not have Attack of the 50-Foot Cam Girl on my list for being such a bad movie. So I had to put it.
That was pretty bad. It's a pretty bad movie, yeah.
Sweet girl, though. She's a nice girl.
Yeah, that's good. Woo. Yeah, that's a good one.
Hopefully, better roles come her way.
I think she's doing 2 more of those movies, so I don't know. We'll see.
Oh no! Oh gosh. Lady Sasha and LD and TC, Cam Girl may show up on a future full moon episode. We shall see.
Will she be 50 foot tall?
She is. And so are her boobs. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters, right?
Her boobs are 50 feet tall.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Well, I guess maybe not that part, but
wouldn't it make more sense to be 50 feet long?
Let's not go down this rabbit hole. Philip, what do you got? Number 4.
Well, I'm pretty quick with the films, so I'm going to squeeze in some more shout-outs to your fans and friends of mine who read me and, love you. And so I'd like to give a shout-out before I give this dishonorable mention. I'd like to give a shout-out to a fan of yours and mine, Andrew Schmershel, who just had a kid 2 days ago. A beautiful baby daughter girl, obviously.
Daughter girl.
Daughter girl named Sophie. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Ryan T. Wynn, keep up with those synths and drum machines. Anyway, yeah, so that's 2 more shout-outs out of the way. You can see I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Amazing.
And boy, am I ever efficient. But This other one here, it's gonna really surprise you, MC. It is called Red Surf. Now, I don't know about you, but this film is called. This is a VSA, and I didn't like it. Fuck that movie. Anyway, move on. Next.
Is your whole worst list gonna be VSAs?
You'll never know. I never know.
Amazing.
You'll never know.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you whatsoever.
I can't wait for the backlash.
That's not on my list, but I'll be honest, I did have that in mind. As like, yeah, that was pretty bad.
God bless you, Tony. I love you.
Love you more.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Hey, Plastic Static. Oh, so you're Ryan. Hey. Good to have you here, buddy. Hope you're well.
Good to
Happy
see
New
you,
Year.
Ryan. Rock those synths, buddy.
Yeah, do that rocking. All right, okay, number 3 worst. Now here's a movie that nobody actually saw because it actually didn't come out because it sucks so bad that it didn't get a release. But let me tell you who's behind this movie. This movie was directed by Joe Hyams. It was written and produced by Kevin Williamson. This is a movie that no one's ever seen. It was supposed to come out this year. It's a movie called Sick. Sick is Kevin's return to the slasher genre, but it fucking sucks, bro. It's so bad, and I'll tell you why. When I tell you this plot point, you're gonna go, "Oh yeah, it's a COVID slasher movie." So the whole movie is all about quarantine. It's all about COVID. We're literally kind of still dealing with it. COVID is still fresh in our minds in the quarantine, but this movie already feels so dated that people were, I don't know, I was rolling my eyes the whole time, and it just, and then they get things wrong in the movie. This is like in the middle of the lockdown, and they're talking about, oh, let's get a rapid test. No, there was no rapid test during that time period, and we just came out of that. How do you not know? How do you remember that shit? But what really boggles the mind is the killer doesn't have a mask. This is not a spoiler. I'm not gonna tell you what happens. The killer doesn't have a mask. It's just a dude and like a fucking like a little beanie, and like, what the fuck? I mean, you don't know who it is because it's it's kept in the shadows. Then the twist comes, and it is so stupid that I don't know how they didn't shut down production. Like, no, we can't make this movie. This is so dumb. Really dumb. So whenever Sick comes out, watch it if you're interested. It's a slasher movie. Kevin Williamson wrote it. The dialogue's not as good as you would hope. The characters aren't as entertaining as you would hope. And it's got probably the dumbest motive for a slasher ever. Number 3 for me, Sick. And I know it's unfair because it's a movie no one's seen yet, but I did see it this year, and it left such a bad taste in my mouth that painful experience. Sick, number 3. All right, Rolf, what do you got?
Okay, so 2 things. I'm a huge fan of musicals, actually. But this movie that I know a lot of people did see, I called it was so woke, it was asleep. Cinderella on Amazon. It was painfully bad. I don't know did anyone watch it?
No.
I know what you're talking about.
In this movie, Cinderella wants to be a fashion designer and have her own dresses, and she doesn't want to rely on any men or anybody like that, but it's a Cinderella story. So we still have the issue with the prince and all the stuff that goes with it. So the film is fighting itself about what the storyline should be because it doesn't work at all.
Wow, that's it. See, I thought you were gonna go with like In the Heights or something like that, but Cinderella.
No, I loved In the Heights. That was the year before.
That was good. That was good.
That was a good movie.
Tony Man says his number 4 is Christmas Bloody Christmas. First hour dialogue was just mind-numbingly stupid. Kills were decent. I agree. Those characters are really hard to stomach.
One character. They all talk exactly the same.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. Oh shit, my light fell. Absolutely correct. All right, TC, what do you got for number 3?
Okay, 3, I was back and forth, but I couldn't get this out of my head. I don't know what dark force compelled me to watch this. I think I blame you guys, MC and Tony, kind of indirectly. But I saw the sequel to Christmas with Cookie. And that's...
Why would you do that?
I have no idea why I did it. I think I was angry at myself or something. I don't know. Think of it, basically what it is okay, he's watching like a low-budget horror zombie movie. It's called Locked Away or something like that. And then, but they're doing it like a Mystery Science Theater thing in which he hosts the whole thing. He's there throughout the whole thing. And after like every other line, he says something or he jumps in, like trying to be funny. The whole movie. Horrible. If you hate somebody, send it to them.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Mel says, "Oh no, so sorry, TC."
Yeah, that's okay. But I digress.
Mel says, 2 out of 5 are Cookie movies. What the FTC? This is a twist I definitely did not see coming.
No, something.
Insane. All right, very good. Lady Sasha, what's your number 3?
It is a Hulu original called Grim Cuddy, which is it's like a fake ass Slender Man, except for it had the best concept that it had was that the creature feeds on the fears of parents, because the parents would get really freaked out by internet challenges that they heard about on the news, and the creature was feeding on it. But the creature looks like this. It's just really it's horrible.
I think
isn't that one of the dog ghosts from Ghostbusters?
It kind of looks like that, or a creature from Beetlejuice, and its body looks like the main character from Despicable Me. It's like all shoulders, upper body, tiny legs, and it's like, who's going to be afraid of this creature? No one's going to be afraid of this creature. And the girl defeats it using her ASMR techniques, because she's an ASMR YouTuber. This is a script someone actually wrote.
You know what? You're kind of describing it in a negative way, but I saw this movie twice.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the only movies this year that I watched twice. I liked it quite a bit.
It was entertaining. It just wasn't
clever,
good.
man.
There's a lot of really bad movies that I enjoyed, like Poltergeist Night of the Chicken Dead. Horrible movie. Horrible movie. I enjoy it for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, and Frankenhooker. Frankenhooker, you can go back and forth. I think it's great, but everyone else tells me it's terrible.
No, it's a masterpiece.
Thank you.
4K, hopefully. No, I actually really enjoyed Grim Cuddy. I thought it was kind of a really smart script, but I can see why you wouldn't like the Grim Cuddy design. It looked really plasticky, but I think maybe that was the point. But I love the ASMR angle. I've never seen that before. I think that
I really love the concept of it feeding off the fear of the parents instead of off the teenagers.
Absolutely. But fair enough. Tony Man says Grim Cuddy looks like the Po-Po lady.
Oh, you're thinking of the Japanese sculpture that went viral.
Oh, Momo.
I think her name was Popo.
Momo.
Oh, Momo. You're right.
Momo.
Momo.
Yeah, because I know my son was scared to death of Momo, so I remember Momo. By the way, Tony Man's third is Morbius. Yes.
I don't think Morbius was that bad.
No,
I kind of liked him.
You
could have been better.
just like Jared Leto. You like Jared Leto. Just admit it. You like Jared.
Yeah, I admit it. I like Jared Leto.
He's great. He has a good kombucha, I hear.
Is that a Knives Out reference?
Yes.
Yes. Which honestly, Glass Onion almost made my worst list. I did not like it, but this is a conversation for another time. Tony, number 3.
Number 3 is one that I actually had on. Was it last night? And it made the list. Actually, it's from Utopia, which is weird because I like pretty much everything they put out. But it's called You Can't Kill Meme. And
okay.
I thought it was something totally different. I love memes. If I could just talk and meme, I would. And this was totally like the opposite of that. It was it follows the director's 3-year descent into the anonymous internet underworld to explore the genesis of memetric magic and how memes have provided an entirely new way of articulating beliefs. And I was just like, that's I didn't know that was what this is about, but like I thought, okay, I like documentaries. I'll give it a chance. And it was so boring, and like I totally didn't I really didn't understand what the hell was going on. Like I'm like, this is bullshit. So like, yeah, it made my list pretty fast. I was like, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's why you gotta be careful with those partner labels.
Everything from Utopia I was watching though, like I like. So I was like, okay. And again, I thought it was something totally different.
Right.
I should watch the trailer.
Can I ask Tony a question? I have, and I've had it for like a year and a half, almost 2 years or something. Minor Premise, I still have it sealed. Is it good?
Which one?
Is that Utopia?
Yeah, Minor Premise. It's got Dana Ashbrook from Twin Peaks in it. That's the only guy I know. I'm just quickly, if you remember.
I don't remember if I've seen that one or not.
Okay, because I have an open mind. I was thinking of giving it away to a friend because I don't know. Anyway, never
Give
mind.
it away, probably. I would say give it away.
I give a lot of stuff away, but yeah, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, I don't have it on my shelf, so I probably didn't get it.
There you go. All right, LD, number 3.
Number 3 for me, I was kind of hopeful for this, but it ended up kind of being a big letdown for me, and that's Hocus Pocus 2. The beginning was kind of odd how they get the Sanderson sisters back, and then I just feel like it gets to a point where the movie just feels stuck. It just feels like really, really stuck, and it's like we're not sure. You could tell the writers weren't sure what to do with the Sanderson sisters now that they're back, and they could have done a lot more, but it's like it was kind of like a recycling of some of the same jokes that they did in the first movie. And, it's always hard to do a sequel of a movie when there's such a big gap of time in between. There's too much time that's passed for people to really care about this franchise, which is why I'm not really going to the theater to see Avatar: Way of Water anytime soon. But yeah, and the way it ended, it kind of like, and again, I won't give it away or spoil it, but the ending kind of feels like we kind of negated who these characters are.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, since when have we seen this side of them before? That's something that, I don't know, that was just kind of like, it just kind of felt like it was thrown in there the way it ended. So yeah, hopefully there won't be a Hocus Pocus 3.
This was on my list. The first one is one of my favorite Halloween movies of all time. We watch it every year. It's like the Home Alone of Halloween for us.
It's great.
Love it. It's so good. It's a nearly perfect script by Mick Garris. Fantastic all over. But the sequel, I feel, yeah, you're right. They don't know what to do. Like, what do we do? They go to Walgreens for 20 minutes and eat stuff. What? Come on, you come up with a better. Then there was a better story. Apparently, at one time, the original characters were going to come back. Danny was going to be a teacher, or she was going to run the magic shop and things like that. So there was a better version of this, but I think they absolutely dropped the ball, and I think they killed it. I don't think there's going to be a third one, but it almost made my list too. So I'm glad it appeared here somewhere. All right, Lennon Hawk, number 3, please.
Number 3 is Judd Apatow's alleged comedy The Bubble, which is about a bunch of actors who are in a COVID bubble trying to film some bad blockbuster. And it's 2 hours and 6 minutes with 0 laughs and a bunch of navel-gazing garbage. So if you just like a bunch of people improvising unfunnily for 2 hours plus, that's your movie.
Wow. That should go on the poster. That's amazing. I for a hot second I wanted to watch it. I think David Duchovny's in it. I'm a big X-Files guy, so I'm like, yeah, I'll watch that. But then I just never got to it, and then I started hearing the exact same shit. It was just boring and stupid and unfunny. Yeah, that's a shame. Did anybody see that? Anybody else see The Bubble?
It's in my queue.
We'll remove it.
Yeah.
Quickly. Real quick, Kate Winslet is dropping by to say, "Goddamn, this acid is good."
Hideous kinky, I think.
I don't know what time zone it is for other people, but yeah, I'm imbibed, but not on acid. God no.
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 And Paul says his number 3 is Jeepers Creepers Reborn. What a piece of shh. Thank you, Paul. All right. S'mores indoors, number 3.
Yeah, so I knew from the start this was going to be bad, but I felt like I needed to punish myself or something. But my number 3 is Rob Zombie's Monsters.
Oh God!
Just a pretty worthless movie. I liked Richard Brake a little bit in it, but that was about it. So.
You know, that movie is so bad that I'm like, it's almost a given that it's just a bad movie. So I'm just gonna keep it off the list because I still feel that's just like a shit movie. Gosh, a lot of painful choices in that one. But are you gonna buy the? You buy the physical media though, right?
No. I don't go down that road. So no.
You know, you can tell when a movie really affects a collector. Like, for example, Halloween Ends, where they won't buy it. They're like, I don't care. The collection will not be complete. This will not exist on my shelf. Yeah, it's tough, man. Damn. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Okay, Philip, number 3.
Okay, well, you know what? You know me. The films are quick, easy breezy. So more shout outs for fans of yours and fans of mine. So you know what? I've got a couple people here. Where are they? Oh yeah. So yeah, these are some imprint people. The Aussies like, I don't know why, but Australians like me. It's very interesting. Imprint, we're like, I don't know. It's great. Anyway, but Tony Mekas and John Matthews, I from Imprint Cast. Thank you so much for your support. I'd like to thank you and John Matthews is we talked off mic and he's a big fan of yours, their MC. Just thought I would blow some smoke up your ass and
love it.
And let's see who else. Oh yes, Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. I would like to give him a shout out. Now, after that, the movie. It is
knew it.
Fortress of America, as my great friend Graham Davidson of Man v Film would call it, America, Fortress of America. See, the thing is that I've watched enough films this year, but I haven't watched a lot of shit. And the shit that I've watched, they're all VSAs. Now, that does not mean that I am shitting on Vinegar Syndrome, because they are elsewhere in my lists on the good stuff. But but who knows if there will be another VSA that'll pop up? We don't know. But right now, Ferris, the Ferris wheel of America. Yeah.
Show the other side. I like that poster better. Yeah, that's a poster right there. Yeah, awful movie.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my other one. So there you go. And
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Number 2. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll switch them around because it's kind of a I'm gonna switch them around. Okay. So number 2 for me, no brainer. Halloween Ends. Absolute disaster. Like what? How does anybody in power say, this is the correct direction for what is considered the final installment of the Laurie versus Michael story?
MC, can I really hate to cut you off, but I have to ask, how the fuck does somebody like Danny McBride write something that terrible? Because his TV shows are Vice Principals is brilliant, Eastbound and Down, and Righteous Gemstones is wonderful. I don't understand how he mishandles something like that.
I'll tell you why. Because they say they're fans, but they're not. That's that. I mean, I don't know them, but other interviews like, oh yeah, I love Halloween and all this stuff, and then this opportunity came up. I go, yeah, let's do it. But I can't see a fan doing that movie. Someone who respects the franchise would not have done that. Would not have sidelined Michael Myers. Would not have made Laurie a completely different character. It felt like this was like, wait a minute, I'm sorry. She was traumatized for 40 years for spending 5 minutes with this guy, and then now, only like what, a year ago, her daughter was killed, her son-in-law was killed, the town, this incredible dramatic stuff happened, and she's fine. She's making fucking pumpkin pies. No, stupid, so stupid. and it's done irreparable damage to that franchise.
It's
and
one of the most hated movies I've ever seen online. I mean,
there's no way.
insane,
Yeah, there's no
y'all,
way.
y'all are gonna hate my review.
Oh man,
because I liked it, and I think that every
That's okay. That's
every slasher franchise has one of these. For Friday the 13th, I think it was part 5 was the one where the killer wasn't Michael Myers. In Nightmare on Street 2 was the one where Freddy was trying to take over Jesse's body. Like every slasher movie has to have one of these where the killer's not the killer, and then the next one should be he goes to space. And since Michael hasn't been to space yet, you know.
Yeah,
right.
Even Pinhead went to space.
Pinhead went to space. Leprechaun went to space. Yeah, but you're
Those
mentioning
weren't that
entries. You're mentioning entries in the franchise that no one likes. No one likes Friday 5. Freddy 2 was the one that.
I like Nightmare on Street 2. As a matter of fact, I love Nightmare on Street 2.
People have come around to Friday 5 and Nightmare 2, and I think you're right. But I think the way they set the new trilogy up. To do what you just said they did is to pull that thing is it's interesting, but I think for what they set up it didn't work.
Here's how they could have fixed it. If you want to do something different, which the franchise already did with Friday the 13th 3 Season of the Witch, is what you do is you have that young character. You already had a great mask. When you had the little scarecrow mask on, tie it back to the silver shamrock mask and say, oh, this is why this happened. And then you tie that back to the original, where Michael Myers, the first thing you do is see him put on a mask and you say, oh, that was the prototype silver shamrock mask before the part 3. And then, it would have came together better. But the writing was a little bit,
Season of the Witch is my favorite,
but they didn't use the same.
To be honest with you.
What was that, Rolf?
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They talked about that ending with the Silver Shamrock Rack. They had that idea to do that, and they didn't go with it.
Oh, they should have. They really should have.
That was their premise. Yeah.
A season of the Witch is so near and dear to my heart.
No, I
also
love
because of the score, the Prophet 5 synthesizers, the Lynn drums. I'm a big drum machine synthesizer guy. But
if they had released that movie just called Season of the Witch, it would probably be known as a classic everywhere. But because they tied it to Halloween, because IPs get people's butts in seats rather than brand new stories, or they did it a disservice. Even though I know that was John Carpenter's wish, he wanted to change it over to an anthology, but he should have just started a separate anthology series.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the thing about Halloween 3 is no one liked that the first time they watched it. They were like, what the shit is this?
I did.
There's no way. Did you watch it as a kid?
Yeah, as a kid, I was like, where's Michael Myers? But as an adult.
What the shit is this? Robots? What's going on here?
I was warned in advance.
And then you grow to like it.
I was warned in advance by a mentor who was like a big brother of mine, who was actually an established filmmaker, and he was like a mentor of mine, like a big brother kind of thing. And he was like, Season of the Witch is very good. I know you're used to Michael, and he prepared me for it, and I loved it. So
you went in expecting it. That makes a difference.
I did. So it did make a difference, and I love it. But it's also the score, because again, I'm a synthesizer. I'm a whore for synthesizers. So the Prophet 5, the Lynn drum, the Oberheims that were used. I have all that stuff out in my studio, and I love that stuff to death. So what they did on Alan Howarth and John Carpenter. It's beautiful and it's a great film. But anyway, sorry, I think we're getting off track.
Just to answer one commenter, Sean. Yes, Michael Myers is technically in part 3 on the TV set in the bar. Yes. They're playing the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rolf, did you want to say something?
I was so tempted because Halloween's coming up. But the thing about Halloween 3 is that it wasn't sold as a Michael Myers film. The Halloween ends. It was all about the confrontation with Laurie, and that's what the audience went to see. So they knew they were doing a bait and switch, and that they were going to piss off a lot of people. Because if they called Halloween Ends, Halloween Begins, people might have accepted the movie, saying we're going to do a new movie about this guy Corey. But it wasn't that, so people were totally off guard. And then the last 5 minutes of the movie, it's like, oh yeah, we have to wrap up the Laurie story because you know, that's so that's it's that people might look back on this knowing going in that this isn't a Michael Myers movie,
Right.
but right now to sell an end of a series of 40 something years, it was very disappointing to a lot of people and me as well.
If it did well at the box office, they'll make another one. Because we had a
It
Final
did
Friday, we had a Freddy's Dead, we had if it makes money, they're coming back.
Never stop.
Yeah,
Never stop.
it didn't do well, but it's certainly
Okay.
going to come back. I mean, Michael Myers is never going to really go away, which then again makes this one stupid because you said this was the end, so you're lying to us. But here's the difference with Halloween Ends versus all the other movies we talked about. Friday 5 is a good damn slasher movie. That arguably some of the best kills in the franchise are in that movie. It's only until the end you realize, oh wait, that's not Jason. Freddy 2 has some really good Freddy stuff. The dogs at the end. I mean, it's a Freddy movie.
But at least Halloween. I mean, Friday 13th 5 is called A New Beginning. The final chapter did kill Jason, and it was all about that. So they had a satisfying conclusion before they did the weird part 5.
Yeah.
There's no way they could have done in this that scene where the young boy was looking at Michael Myers in the tunnel. If they had played that like, oh, he transferred his evil spirit onto him, and now this is the next person because he's 67 years old or however old he is, and then he becomes a new Michael Myers, even that would have worked. But they didn't do that.
No,
stupid. He just wrestles him.
I thought they didn't even need Michael Myers in this movie. The kid could have gone into the Stephen King tunnel from It and Christine, because it's a Stephen King movie, really, and found Michael Myers' mask and then put it on. You didn't need Michael Myers at all in the movie, except they had to wrap up Laurie. So they could have done that in the first 5 minutes of the movie and then just continued a new story with Corey. Because they didn't have...
It technically is wrap up Laurie again, because didn't she get thrown off the roof? And was it Resurrection? She got thrown off the roof.
timelines.
Okay.
Can I quickly tell you I have a very quick story about Halloween Resurrection. It was my second time in New York City, and I had been there just prior to 9/11 for my first time, and I was there just shortly after when Halloween Resurrection was released. And I saw it with my dad on my birthday, I think on my 15th or 16th birthday in Times Square. And it was the most bizarre day of my life because I got off the plane and we walked down Broadway. And for some reason, the security didn't bother us. And we didn't mean anything, but we were just walking. And there was an Edie Falco and Stanley Tucci play on Broadway. And they pushed everybody back, and they didn't mind us being there. And I met like the whole cast of The Sopranos. It was absolutely bizarre. And then after that, because I was a huge Halloween fan, my dad took me to see Halloween Resurrection, and that screening was wild because people were just like booing and just shouting at the screen, and just it was one of the most like scornful experiences I've ever had seeing a film.
Are you saying it's post 9/11?
Just post 9/11, yeah. That's when it came out. It was about a year after. I was there right before and then after, and it was just interesting. Anyway, but
so did it cause 9/11 though? Was Halloween Resurrection that bad?
Well, hey, hashtag too soon.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. We spent too much time. I'm sure Halloween Ends will pop up again. But my final thought is, I liked Resurrection better than Halloween Ends. I think it's an actual Michael Myers movie. Anyway,
you're just a Busta Rhymes fan. So.
Yeah.
Dude, break your neck, man. You got to do it. All right. Rolf, number 2.
Okay, well, I'll flip my order just to end this because I had Halloween Ends as number 1. So I'll say number 2 is Holiday Ends. Just one of the worst of the year.
Yeah. Oh, man. So painful. What would you have done, Rolf, if you had been given the chance? Do you have like a secret Halloween franchise idea in your head?
Well, I mean, I love Halloween. The first one is I watch it every year. It's amazing, and it's funny because it's so simple and so effective. And the more they clutter it up, the worse it gets. So it's just the bare. I mean, I think if they really did what they promised on the trailer for the new one and really just had the final battle. I mean, it's like you said, Laurie for 40 years was waiting for Michael Myers, and he was locked in an institution where she couldn't get at him, but she knew where he was. And now, at the end of Halloween Kills, he kills her daughter, and he's still out there, and she's okay with it and has moved on. How is that possible?
Right.
So
He's
it just completely the same thing. Just changed the characters, destroyed the whole idea of what the story was between the two of them, and yeah, very disappointing. Very, very, very bad.
Absolutely. TC, what's your number 2?
Well, I'm gonna have to echo what you said earlier. In
Christmas with a Cookie 3.
No.
Christmas with Cookie ends? Is that-
No, but no, not at all. Korean from Saul.
Okay, okay. Wow.
Not enough has been said about this horrible piece of shit. So I'll just say I chose it because it's Korean from Saul.
Yeah, it's
It's
bad.
boring.
If you guys are interested in watching it, it's on Tubi. Korean
Don't watch
from Saul.
it.
Check
Not
it
even
out.
free.
I'm
Not
putting
even
it on
free.
my watch list.
No.
Do it.
No.
And if you survive it, you get a gold star in my book. I'll say that.
You get it. Don't tell it. Don't say we didn't warn you.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Oh.
Dai Katana 65 says you can hate Halloween Ends, but Best Buy Steelbooks sold out quick. I mean, I guess they all do, don't they? I mean,
Steelbooks sell out.
They're in the dumpster
Steelbooks
fire
sell
now
out.
somewhere.
Collectors will buy anything.
Mine got delivered today.
Hey, there you go.
Oh.
It's on Lennon Hog's shelf, and now I have a little less respect for him. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, Lady Sasha, number 2.
My number 2 is the Friendship Game. I was so disappointed. The design of the little Hellraiser box thing looked so cool. I was like, I'm gonna turn it on, and then the movie did nothing for like an hour.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, it was this. I don't know how to describe it. It kind of looked like a Lament configuration, but in a more spherical type of thing. And these kids, well, they're not kids. They just graduated high school, so they're like young adults. And they all play the friendship game. And the game defeats you if you're not a good friend. And I just thought, this is a waste of a concept. There was no gore in it. There was nothing scary. It was mostly melodrama. Like, you sold me a horror movie, and then you gave me a young adult drama, and I didn't sign up for that. I want to see some people get messed up, and that didn't happen too much.
Gotcha. That's a pretty obscure title. I don't. Has anyone else heard of that one?
I've heard of it. I never saw it though.
I can't remember where I watched it. I want to say either Amazon Prime or Hulu. It had to be one of those two. It definitely wasn't Netflix. And I didn't pay to watch it.
All right. Hello to you, Skulder. Tone Bone, number 2.
Halloween Ends.
All right, next.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm going back and rewatching the Halloween franchise. I'm not a fan. I'm actually not a fan. If I could just have the first 2, I think I'd be okay.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the Halloween, and then Halloween Kills had some decent kills, but it was just, evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight.
You can play a drinking game with it. Every time they say it, take a shot.
Dead.
Freaking die.
You'd be Halloween Ends. Dead.
Yeah.
But Halloween, I was looking forward to it, and I thought, it can't be any worse than Kills, and I was wrong. But it was just a really big disappointment. So yeah.
How do you think Michael C. Hall feels about that these days? People coming up to him, "Evil dies tonight." I'm sure at like conventions.
Michael C. Hall.
Sorry, who is it?
Anthony
Michael Hall. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
I don't
know names.
I'm terrible at names. I'm good at faces.
I feel like he was miscast. He just did not give me Tommy Doyle. I know Tommy Doyle is being Ant-Man now, but
and he would look exactly the same as
from
he
the
did back
70s.
then, when he was Tommy Doyle. Paul Rudd could have did it.
Yeah.
Probably would have happily done it.
he's worked with the director before, so it was kind of, I think it was in talks, but he was too busy.
Yeah, I heard it was a scheduling conflict. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only face that matters in the Halloween franchise is this guy right here. Oh yeah.
I didn't even mind. Like,
what about Ben Tramer?
Nope.
Not even Ben Tramer.
We're gonna have a good time tonight.
We're gonna have a good
Right,
time tonight,
you're
guys.
right.
Remember
You're
that.
absolutely right.
All right, LD number 2.
I'm actually also going to switch my last two over. My number 2 is Dead Man's Hand, a.k.a. Haunted Casino from Full Moon.
I saw that. we talked about that.
We
Wasn't
did.
that bad? Was it?
Lady Sasha, I'm the one that picked this for the review, and I'm telling you that this was really, really bad.
Yeah, I remember. I remember watching it, but I wouldn't. I'll let you explain more. Explain further.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, you could watch my full review on the Full Moon Fright Club that we did on it. But you know, first of all, these people don't understand how slot machines work. If you get 2 cherries and a lemon, that doesn't mean you won. So there's nothing to get excited about. And these people also don't really know how blackjack works because, and I mentioned this also in our review, only the dealer has 1 card face down. The player has all their cards face up. But for some reason, and that bothered me. That bothered me, you know, because I know blackjack, and that's not how you fucking play it. And it's like the ghosts were these like weird puppets. One was like a big gingerbread like man. The other was supposed to be. I got that he was supposed to be a jack from a deck of cards. But it's like you could have at least put some more time into making these look a little better. And of course, what really made me say I am so checking out is the lady ghost who all of a sudden had slot eyes. And of course, the slots come up skull and crossbones, and that's like, okay, I have to give up in taking this movie seriously. So yeah, that's my number 2.
I realized why I thought that movie wasn't so bad. Because I continue to watch Amityville movies. I had to bring myself back into perspective. Yeah.
Have you watched Amityville in Space?
No, not yet. It's on my watch list. I have that one, and Amityville Karen is now available on YouTube.
Amityville Karen, directed by a friend of mine. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but there's Amityville in the Hood. There's Amityville something. I'm like Amityville Shark.
Amityville Vibrator.
Amityville Vibrator.
Yes.
What? Are you serious? There's an Amityville Karen?
Oh. Yes. That's a thing that exists.
Can I just quickly tell you something? Like, then this is for real. I have a neighbor, and her name is Karen, and she is a Karen.
Oh wow! I feel bad for you.
And actually, I whinged to, and I'll bring her up later. But the long-suffering Kat Ellinger, I whinged to her about my neighbor Karen. So yeah,
everyone loves a Karen. All right, Lennon Hawk, what do you got for us for number 2?
Number 2 is a morally reprehensible piece of garbage called Purple Hearts, and it's a movie about a straw man liberal woman who marries a ultra-conservative military guy for healthcare, and then they gradually fall in love, so his red heart and her blue state heart become purple hearts. But then it's also literal because he gets injured at war and gets a purple heart. And the movie is about how she moves to the right to meet him, and he changes not at all. And it ends up just being this horrible conservative propaganda movie on Netflix to aim at 13-year-old impressionable girls. So fuck that movie. It's the most morally reprehensible one I saw of 2022.
Wow!
I think we all open our mouth a little bit.
This list is just rage material.
That's crazy shit. Oh my god! All right.
Oh my god.
There you go. All right, Sports and Doors. What do you got? Number 2.
Yeah, my number 2 was mentioned before, Moonfall. If I've got to depend on Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson to save me from the moon falling, I'll just let it fall. I don't care.
It was like, no, dude, we got you. Like, nah.
No.
I'm
out. I'm out.
Oh my god. That's for Moonfall. Wow. All right, amazing. Okay, Philip, what do you got? Number 2.
Is it okay if I kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Or
yes.
All right. Let's see here. So some other fans here. You know what? It's all right. No more shout out. It's fine.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Now, I think this could have been a better film if it had gone a little bit harder. I respect what it was trying to do, and I felt that it just because it's unfortunately timely now, and in the culture, and I don't know. It still felt like after school special kind of stuff, and it's interesting that this was described as the film that launched the VSA line, and it's like, really, okay. I mean, now I will say this, and again, and I'm not shitting on Vinegar Syndrome. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not.
I don't think they watch this anymore.
But yeah, but the scan is incredible. It looks great. It looks fantastic. They've really upped their game. And the interview with the director is interesting, and it is an interesting package. It's not something I'll get rid of or anything like that. But again, I kind of, the way that I've watched movies, I don't go see a lot of films. The way that I do it, I just don't take gambles on films that I think are going to be poo. And so yeah, that's all I got to say.
And yet you still buy VSA. So
no, I don't. No, I don't.
You're done.
Okay. I stopped. Yeah. I'm like 4 or 5 out now. I don't know. 5, 6. I don't know.
Did you get the patch with it?
I did not.
Oh, I got it. I didn't even know some people didn't get it.
I'm incredibly jealous. Can you? I'll buy it from you for like $500.
Yeah, sell them the patch. So there you go.
Okay.
Plastic Static says, I don't have any worst of movies. My whole perspective has changed into watching like 42 Jess Franco movies this year.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, Jess Franco will burn you out. There's the patch. All right, let's get to our number one. This is kind of a shocker. I honestly thought this was going to be my favorite movie of the year. And I think this is why it's on this list, because I was so disappointed by this film. I don't know how many people saw it. It didn't make any money, so which is shocking when you realize who's behind it. My number one worst movie of the year, The Fabelmans. That's right, wow. Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans. This is my least favorite Steven Spielberg movie, for one reason. It's really bad. The acting is terrible. It's okay. Michelle Williams is a great actress. She's awful in this. His interpretation of his mother, if that's how she really was, oh my god, I don't know how he survived that. She's like this manic pixie character, and there's a complete nonsense. And then Paul Dano, who's an amazing actor, when he kicked ass in The Batman, he's so good. He's a really solid actor. He sucked in this. He was so bland, so boring. Like he had like no life. He was walking around like a corpse. I don't understand what was going on. There's one scene where like, Seth Rogen is in it, and he plays like this guy that the mom cheated with, and like you expect me to believe that Michelle Williams and Seth Rogen are gonna hook up? Nah, I don't know about that. I can't believe he's. I'll believe dinosaurs. I can't believe that. And like there's one scene where she's like dancing in the moonlight, and everyone's like looking at her, and he's filming his mom, and she's wearing like a see-through nightie. I'm like, what the shit? Did this really happen? That's so strange. But on top of just the acting, the story is a mess. Look, I don't like coming of age stories. I think they're pointless in a way, because they're really only there for the filmmaker or the writer. It's like, hey, this happened to me. Some coming of age stories work. SLC Punk, I think, is a pretty perfect film. This one doesn't work because it is a mess. At one point, he discovers, we see him in the beginning. Movie begins, he's 5 years old, he's going to see his first movie. It's The Greatest Show on Earth. And his mom's talking to him, and he's scared to go to the movies. But then he sees the movie, and it kind of freaks him out. But then he goes home, and he wants to recreate it with his little movie camera, and he wants to, like, get over the fear by recreating it. I'm like, oh, wow, this is really special. This is kind of how a filmmaker becomes, I want to have power over this thing that's frightening and magical. I love that. Then the movie goes overboard with random crap, like he gets bullied by people. He's in the Boy Scouts. He's collecting scorpions. I'm like, what the hell? This is a mess. The only good scene is the last scene, and this is what I wanted the movie to be. It's his first big meeting in Hollywood, and he's meeting with, I think,
John
Hogan's
Ford.
Hero.
John Ford.
Yeah, he goes there for a meeting for the Hogan's Heroes production team or something. Then he says, "Oh, come on in," and across the way is John Ford, played by David Lynch. David Lynch is amazing in this. He plays John Ford. That one scene is awesome, and that should have been what the movie was. And that's what I wanted to see. I didn't want to see his mom go crazy and him collecting scorpions. I wanted to see, how did he really get into the business? All that. There's so much legend about Spielberg. I wanted to see him unpack that, and not so much about his family life, which is completely uninteresting, boring, and disappointing. It's my number one least favorite movie of the year, which is shocking because it's Spielberg, and I love him, but not this time. Not this time.
I didn't put it on my worst list, but I was very disappointed by it as well. I really expected to love it, and it didn't have the magic. To me, it almost was like Spielberg showing dirty laundry in the family. And it was a weird perspective because I've seen the documentary on Spielberg, and the whole thing is that he didn't realize that his mother was the one who was having an affair and always blamed the father. And that affected all of his movies about the divorced, dysfunctional family, where the father has left the family, like, Wallace is alone with the kids in E.T. and all that stuff. But
That's
this is from the perspective of him as an adult, looking at his childhood the way it really was, which would have changed him entirely as a filmmaker. So it contradicts everything about his career if this was really his true life story.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Wow.
That's a good point. Absolutely.
I remember seeing the trailer and I thought Seth Rogen, I thought, wow, they should really make him a bad guy in something because he looked really mean and evil. Those glasses, like she could be like in a serial killer movie. I thought.
I just wanted to say that Seth Rogen and Michelle Williams were romantically involved in a film called "Take This Waltz" by Sarah Polley that was shot here in Toronto, just down the street from me. So they've already done that.
Was that Spielberg that did Super 8?
No,
it's J.J. Abrams.
JJ.
Oh, okay.
He produced
almost exactly. I mean, it is a Spielberg movie essentially.
Yeah, and it's also kind of that whole, director working through their childhood issues.
There's another movie. I don't know if you saw it. The date movie, 5/25/77, about the filmmaker. Yes, the whole Star Wars, and that really is more what you wanted this to be. That film, in a lot of ways, it's a coming of age movie, but it also is about his early career and obsessed.
About
Star
George
Wars.
Lucas.
Yeah, whether it's the guy who did Space Invaders and his career.
Patrick Reed Johnson, is that it?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's cool. I've been wanting to watch that one.
Yeah, it's worth seeing.
All right, Rolf, what's your number one worst movie?
Well, it was going to be Scream Ends, but I flipped it. So it was mentioned before, but yeah, the new version of Scream, I got so angry watching that movie. The more I thought about it, the worse it got. The film constantly keeps insulting the audience while it praises the franchises and says, we know exactly what makes a sequel make money, and we're going to make money, and you're going to pay for it. And it's insulting the audience while you're watching it, and yet the audience still loved it. So it got really upsetting if you really think about that movie.
They can make 100 of them. I will watch every Scream movie. I'll be honest.
I probably would too.
I like the other ones, but this one I just felt was insulting the fans of the film.
Yeah,
it was kind of like a snake eating its own tail while it was doing. I loved Jenna Ortega on everything, and she was good in this. But I hated this movie.
They
Yeah,
had
I
so
think-
many characters that spoke like Randy. There's only
Yeah.
one Randy. We don't need 4 Randys.
Yeah.
Like it kind of.
Yeah.
They always try to build a Randy in. The one thing I think
Weeks.
the most damage I think 5 did was making fans toxic, making them the bad guys. Because then if you said, "Oh, I didn't like Scream 5," you're like, "Oh, dude, you're toxic. You're just like the killers in the movie." You're like, no, dude, fuck you. I can not like the movie and not be considered toxic because I didn't like the movie. And I think you're right about that, Rolf. About sort of the snake eats its tail. Like it's sort of like insulting fans and also trying to make itself bulletproof. Like, oh, well, you have to like it because if you don't, then you're just like the toxic guys. Yeah, it's
And
weird
it was a big
portrayal.
success. So the more I thought about it, the more I got angry because the film is it's. I won't get political, but it's almost like that. It's like you're sheep and you're going to follow us and do whatever we say because you like the franchise and we don't care.
Right. Well, we'll see what part 6. I mean, they didn't bring Nev back, and that to me is a big slap in the face. I mean, there's no Scream without Sydney. She is the face,
and they don't want to pay her the money.
MC,
Because, of course, they haven't made any money on these movies, right?
Right.
Nev was an alumni of my high school. Way
Oh,
before,
nice.
10 years before my time. There's a lot of people, and from my year too, but she was 10 years before me, So,
Amazing.
Yeah, that was always pretty cool seeing her around there. And Al Waxman.
Oh,
Anyway.
The composer?
No, he's just an actor. It doesn't matter. He's just a guy. It doesn't matter.
There is a composer named Waxman. But anyway, okay, TC, what do you got for number 1?
My worst was the worst one I saw the first time, and unfortunately the worst I saw the second time, Begotten.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Was that this year?
Yeah, I
was, yeah.
I think so, yeah. But unfortunately, that
It
really
was
hurt
this
that movie.
year. Beautiful film.
Oh, there's a new Begotten?
No, God, no.
Oh, okay.
I saw like crap twice.
Oh, okay. I saw it
But
one
years
time. It was a
apart.
request a review on my channel, and the requester said, "This movie is horrible. Will you watch it?"
No.
I would ask for how much.
Mhm.
Get paid to
Yeah,
watch
for how
that.
much? Exactly.
That's BC's
Begotten. Yeah, you got to sit through that one again. Very
Well,
Very
BC
brave of you,
loved
sir.
that movie and then rewatched it for the show, and then he ends up not
He
liking
hated
it
it.
anymore.
That's how bad
one of the
it is.
reasons,
Yeah.
one of the reasons he left, I think. And what have I done? All right, lady Sasha, what's your number 1 worst?
It's the only movie that I actually turned off, and I would usually sit through. Like as I just said, I just sat through. I am a person who has sat through Begotten, so it's very difficult for me to turn something off. And my number 1 was going to be Amityville in the Hood, but this one actually made me turn it off, and that is Dash Cam, because the lead character is so annoying. She's so. Like when she started freestyling the second time, I was like, "That's it. I can't take this anymore." And she started freestyling after the zombie passenger that she had in her Uber changed and started. Well, I don't know if they were a zombie or more like a demon. I would describe more like a demon. I think they were more like a demon possessed elderly person, which was great. They looked awesome. What they were doing was great. But this character, she's supposed to be this ultra conservative person. She has the red hat on. When she visits her friends in England, I think she calls her friend a liberal cuck, like literally calls him that. And she has, make America great again. She's doing every over exaggeration of the most toxic conservative person you could possibly see. And the thing is, you can do that and make it funny. Like Master K has mentioned earlier, he mentioned the second Glass Onion movie, but the second Knives Out movie, but the first Knives Out movie did that brilliantly, where it showcased the kind of the negatives of being ultra liberal and being very performative, and also being ultra conservative and being full of crap. Like that movie showed both extremes beautifully, so it can be done. This was not it, and then the freestyling was terrible, absolutely horrible.
Oh, I think I blocked that movie out of my mind. That was excruciating.
Yes.
And you turned it off, but at the end credits is literally 10 minutes of her rapping.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's my worst nightmare.
That's what they should play that for, like, to torture people. I mean, it's It right that and bloody Christmas, bloody whatever the hell Christmas.
Yes, yes.
The same kind of character, just a really annoying, grating. Stop writing these people. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. That's a good one. Don't watch that. If anyone hasn't seen it, stay away. Tony, number 1.
This is embarrassing, but there's nothing out there. No, I'm just kidding. No. See, now I forgot that Begotten was this year, so it's gonna have. I'm gonna go with it's a tie, and I know
that's fair.
Okay, and I was trying to stay away from Voyage movies, but Begotten and this one probably ties it for me. Summertime Christmas and Begotten are like exactly like those are my bottom. I thought Summertime, and then he said Begotten. No, I said Begotten is my bottom, but thinking about Summertime Christmas more and more and more, and the messages and just the mess in general, I hate it. I hate it. But I thought it was worse than Halloween Ends, and the only reason that is because at least Halloween Ends has Michael Myers in it. If Michael Myers was in Summertime Christmas, it would have been better.
It probably would have been, yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely go with them. Begotten.
Yeah.
He loves it so much.
No, it's terrible. So yeah, I have to go with that. I will say though, I feel like making these lists, I've seen more good than bad this year. So that's but nothing that's really like a huge standout, except for of course maybe 5 that I have here. But like Scream 5, I didn't hate it. I was like, it's okay. But it was very predictable, and I knew who the killers were right in the beginning. It's like pretty easy to figure out. But yeah, I think on my good list, I think I have some that know somebody they didn't like. I forget what it was, but yeah, those two. I'm trying to get away from the negative.
Gotcha.
Not you, LD.
You're not the negative. Real quick, Skulder sent us a super chat. Thank you, Skulder, very much. He says, Happy New Year and many fantastic cinematic discoveries. Thank you, Skulder. I appreciate that. Happy New Year to you. I hope your 2023 is a beautiful, wonderful year. Appreciate that very, very much. LD, what's your number 1?
All right. I watched this movie against my better judgment. And I actually enjoyed watching it because of how bad it was. And this is one that you actually reviewed on an episode of Voyage. The Amazing Bulk.
Oh man.
I mean, talk about lazy filmmaking. I mean, everything is happening in front of a green screen. There's not one actual location in the entire film. There and everything is just in one space. So everyone walking literally just has to go like this, like I'm walking, and that's how they get from one place to another. The design of the bulk was kind of okay, and for some reason there's a part where like the ditzy girl gets to feel the bulk's bulk.
Yep. And
it's like, okay, what is going on here? And there's that weird scene where our lead guy is like, he's on a date with this girl, and they're in like a flower field, and she's going, "Hey, catch me! All right." And it's like this was like, if this was a 7th grade project, I'd probably be okay with this. But this was a movie that actually got released, so yeah, wow. The Amazing Bulk is my number 1.
Yikes! That is an excruciating experience, but also kind of fun in a weird way. All right, Lennon Hawk, you're number 1. I'm very curious because you have such interesting choices here. Halloween Ends, Monsters.
Well, to bookend my list, the worst one was The Next 365 Days, which is the 3rd film of that trilogy. And everything bad I said about the second one applies to this one, except this one's worse because it literally has no plot. Nothing happens in the movie except the montages. Like, ostensibly, the movie is about she has to choose between the two guys, but that's 5 minutes of the movie. The rest of the movie is just a series of montages with songs and barely any dialogue. Like, I could have shut off my TV and stared at the blank screen for 2 hours having an existential crisis, and it would have been the exact same experience, because nothing happens in this movie. And so, like, if you're going to spend money and pay people and have catering, make them do something. Like, have a movie, have a story with conflict and characters and dialogue. Don't just show me, like, badly color-timed vistas with music I've never heard of before or since playing during. It was just a waste of complete time. Like, it's not even boring. It's not even a movie. It's a screensaver. So that's the worst one.
Very good. You should write a book on filmmaking. Page 1, have a movie. Do something. So I just picture you, getting in your smoking jacket and your ascot with a glass of wine. What shall we see today? The new 365 is out. Let's watch that one. I can't believe you started the two of these. Wow. Okay. You've got the stones, man. It's pretty good.
Kidney stones. Yeah.
I heard that it's developed as a trilogy.
Yeah, that was my Halloween ends. It was 365 ends. Sexiness dies tonight.
Corey Cunningham shows up in that one too, right? What the fuck is this guy doing? All right, S'mores Indoors. What do you got for us? Their final or worst.
Well, I commend you guys who could move Halloween Ends to number 2, but I just couldn't. It was by far the worst thing I saw this year, and to me, thinking about it, it's the worst Halloween movie of all time for me. So,
yep, I agree.
I had to go with that. My favorite laughable scene in the movie is when they're parading Michael through town like he won the state volleyball championship. That was a great scene.
When you describe it that way.
Now, I am ashamed to say, I'm going to go back to a previous comment. I will buy this 4K because I am a Halloween completionist. So,
don't do it. Let somebody gift it to you at least.
Well, all right.
You like
someone in the chat.
They wrapped up Lindsay's character?
What's that?
You liked how they wrapped up Lindsay's character?
Oh yeah, it was all great.
Yeah.
They did a great job. I'm glad they brought her back for that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. No, that's a pretty awful film. Yeah, that's why I'm not a completist. I just can't. I can't do it. It's like, it's just I almost didn't buy No Time to Die. Even though I do think it's a really good James Bond movie, I don't like what they did, and I almost didn't buy it. But at the end of the day, I'm like, it actually has some of the best action that Craig's ever done. So I caved. The 4K was $7, so I got it. But Halloween Ends will never grace. Send it to me. People can send it to me. I'll throw it away. I'll do videos of me throwing it away. There you go. That'll be a running joke. Hey, welcome everybody. Let me break this Halloween Ends. I'm just gonna send it to me and we'll continue it. But anyway, all right, Philip, what is your number one?
Boy, technology is hard.
Yeah.
Well, there is a bit of a story with this one. I would it's not that interesting, but I'll tell it anyway. The first movie is called Cyber Vengeance. Now this film, and I'm not picking this as a joke, and yes, it's another VSA, so all 5 of them were VSAs. But this was such a piece of shit. It was just awful. I really enjoyed a lot of what the VSA line did, and then there were about a bunch in a row, and then this one I watched one night. And I woke up one Sunday morning and I just, I don't know, I took a picture of it like over the toilet or something and I put like bombs away. And, just as a joke, just as a lark, and boy, let me tell you, anthrax is not fun to get in the mail. So,
it is not.
No. So, yeah,
So your choice is so you're going with Cyber Vengeance for number one?
Well, here's the thing: is like I don't watch a lot of new movies. You'll notice that even in my picks, except for one that is from 2022 in my best of. I just don't watch a lot of new shit. I don't, and so it's all pretty much restored old films, and I didn't buy a lot of shit this year. I decided to stuff my shelves with good stuff. I diverted my funds to good movies.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
That's what I
Good
did.
concept.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of our worst list. Before we move on to best, I have a video to share. Phil, why don't you get Cat's list together? We'll shotgun through that real quick.
Sure.
Going a little long, but let me show the video. This is from my buddy Frankie Pozos. He's a YouTuber. He's been on with us before, and he sent in a video with his top fives.
Pozos here. I'm here to give you my top 5 movies of the year, and also my top 5 bad movies of the year. My top 5 most worst, disappointing movies ever. Number 5, Ambulance. Remember in the old days when we would be excited for Michael Bay movies? Yeah, not so much anymore. Number 4, Black Adam. Yeah, remember what I said about Michael Bay being excited for his films? I feel the same way about The Rock. I'm not excited anymore. But somehow he just feels like he's cranking out these films like he's amazing, like a Tom Cruise, and he's not Tom Cruise, like at all. And Black Adam made me want to go see this next film, number 3, Jungle Cruise. And so I decided to watch that after watching Black Adam. Like, is The Rock okay? And I watched that, and that was horrible. Where am I? All these disappointing movies. Number 3, 2, 1. Halloween. What's that about? And number 1, Jurassic World Dominion. I don't know. These are just disappointing movies, and that's a disappointing movie. And it's just sad to see a franchise just... And here are my top 5 movies. Number 5, Avatar, The Way of Water. Avatar? Why would you pick Avatar? Well, I like James Cameron, okay? And I like his tech, and I like some sci-fi stuff. It's a good, fun movie to watch. I dug it. Yeah, it's more of the same, but we got, they cloned Marines and made them Na'vi, and they're like bad Na'vi. Come on! And the machine guns, it's cool. Hey, and they brought back Stephen Lang. Hey, man, come on. I like Stephen Lang. Number 4, Nope. What? Nope. Yeah, when I didn't actually want to see that movie when it came out. I was just like, I don't know about this movie. I didn't really like Us so much. I really didn't. And so I was not excited for this. And then I sat down and watched it, and it's freaking awesome. And I got to work on the set at Halloween Horror Nights. And so that was an added plus of enjoying the movie. Number 3, The Banshees of Inisherin. You know what? I'm a huge fan of Martin McDonagh. And I really dug In Bruges, and this is just right back to form there. I mean, yes, 3 Billboards is awesome. I wasn't a fan of 7 Psychopaths so much, but I just love Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson working together. And plus, we got a miniature donkey in it, so that's something. Number 2, The Northman. Hey, I like Robert Eggers. Hey, I like Alexander Skarsgård. They do an action movie together. This is what it is. No one saw it. It bombed. But I don't care. I really love this movie. It's fun. And number 1, The Headless Horseman. Yes, this is a little independent film that I heard about. And I hear it's really awesome. It's directed by this upcoming director, Jose Prendes. So that was my top 5 best and worst movies. Hey, movies are subjective, so you probably enjoyed some of the movies I hated or I talked shit about. Who cares? So have a good time. Name is Frank Pozos. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Frankie. And I agree with your number 1. That's really good.
I can't believe I totally forgot that I saw that Jurassic Park movie, and I saw it in 4DX, and still forgot that I saw it.
Oh my god!
Feel the locusts come at you, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't watched them since the first Chris Pratt one.
Well, you gotta watch the third one because it brings it all together. You remember all the crickets in that one? Well, they're back, and they're the plot of the movie.
No.
And Jeff Goldblum says things.
Yeah, exactly.
Jose, calm.
It's about crickets.
I'm Chris Pratt.
That's my raptor. That's the best I can do. All right, Phil. Let's go through Cat's list real quick.
Yeah, no, this is just stuff that she's been. I asked her.
This is, by the way, Kat Ellinger, the writer, the critic. You've known her from a ton of commentaries and things like that. This is she sent Philip kind of her list of best and worst, right?
Well, sort of. Like I asked her, what are some of your favorite passion projects of the last year? And she said, "Oh God, can you give me some time to think about it?" And I said, "No." And so she just like shut up. I just did that as a joke. It was completely like just bullshitting. I didn't give a fuck how long she took. Didn't matter if she got back to me or not. But anyway, she did. Anyway, but she said she gave a few things, and she's lovely. Anyway, she said at number 3, Gothic Fantastico. It's a box set from Arrow Video.
This is stuff she liked.
Stuff that she worked on that she was very proud of.
Okay.
And I will get to something that she didn't like that she watched.
Okay.
And then at number 2, she picked Oscar-nominated director Tangerine. She did the commentary for the Tangerine Second Sight Blu-ray, and I believe that Sean Baker is because he's been in the Severin Cellar, he's been in Criterion. I believe he must have discovered Cat through Severin or something like that, and realized the talent we all know, and it's been like, well, I want her. So that's just my guess. So and then she said in LOL, everything for imprint. But truly, what she really picked as her number one, just to be involved with, was a big dream come true for her, and it's this one right here, and it's the box set for The Wicker Man.
Nice.
Yeah, she does a great visual essay on here, and discuss it on. It's well discussed on the imprint cast that I was on. I don't know, a little while ago, week and a half ago, or so. Anyway,
great.
That is that. There you go.
And what's you want to give us her worst too?
Oh boy, well, she started by and this is all I'm not talking out of school here. This is just her on her Facebook page. She started Westworld this past year. And she said, "Oh wow, this first season is really great. This is going really, really well." And wow, I don't know if anyone here has seen the show. Yeah, okay, thank you. Well, it takes a precipitous slide down shit mountain in season 2.
Yeah.
So I was, because season 1 is like this. There's still a lot of expository dialogue and all of this kind of thing and all of those kind of things, but it's still a pretty well made puzzle box kind of season. It's well made, but when TV shows don't stick the landing, it's just terrible. And then eventually she kept posting about about her journey watching it, and at a certain point she's like, "Why is Jesse Pinkman in the show?" And then I didn't even watch season 4. She finished it. So
wow,
that tells you about her judgment. Okay,
I didn't even know there was season 4.
Yeah, it just came out.
I haven't seen past the first season.
I'm joking, of course.
Wet Movie says, "Sorry, I'm not on the show. I'm in bed like an old man. It's okay, bud. Get some rest." He says, "Love you guys."
Can I just shout out your friend Brendan there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I love your channel, man. I really do. I think you are an amazing raconteur. I love your channel. So
now he's gonna have to look up the definition of raconteur because he has no idea what that is.
No, he had
Brendan.
me in the palm of my hand, in the palm of his hand, with some stories. So he's great.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
good. He'll love to hear that.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're still here, buddy. If not, go get some rest. He's been working very, very hard. All right, best of. Let's do it. Let me get this together here. Again, no particular order, just whatever feels right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I have 6 here. That's right, because I didn't decide. You know what I'm gonna do?
Honorable mention it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'll throw in an honorable mention, and you guys can as well. Honorable mention to The Last of Sheila. It's from the 70s, I guess. I'm blanking on who wrote it, but it was written, I think, Stephen Sondheim or somebody.
Stephen Sondheim and Anthony Perkins.
Yes,
who are real life mystery fans.
Yeah, and just a fantastic whodunit murder mystery movie. I was really blown away by that movie. So honorable mention to that one.
And the inspiration to the Glass Onion.
Exactly. All right, my number 5 is a very obscure movie, but Arrow released it this year. I was fortunate enough to get on the Arrow screeners list, so they sent me a free copy, or else I probably would not have discovered this movie. It's a Japanese film called To Sleep So As to Dream. This is a masterpiece. I don't remember the year. I want to say it's in black and white, but that doesn't really mean anything. I want to say maybe 70s, something around that time. It's a beautiful movie about a detective who's hired to find a missing actress, but the movie becomes a love letter to acting, to cinema, to finding out who you are and what is real, on the screen and beyond the screen. I was just blown away by how magical and how unique this movie was, and it's something that no one really knows about, but it's on Blu-ray now thanks to Arrow. To Sleep So As to Dream, a masterpiece movie. It blew me away this year. That's my number 5. Rolf, what do you got for number 5?
I have a pretty underrated film. I saw it in the theaters, and I thought it was a really smart, funny, really great film. Vengeance, BJ Novak. I was really surprised. I saw the trailer, it looked fun, and the movie it's very smart. It's funny, but it's kind of really sets up the whole reason of why we're the way we are in the world and the discommunication. It does it in a very intelligent way, but never loses the humor. Sort of fish out of water story, and the best performance by Ashton Kutcher you've ever seen.
I agree. That's a great movie. Very, very good film. Okay, TC, your number 5.
For me, it's a movie that kind of came out of nowhere for me. I had no idea what it was. The poster caught my eye, and the movie was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It's Barbarian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a great film. It didn't make my list, but I love that movie. It's a very, very fun script.
Yeah, it was fun.
Lady Sasha, number 5.
Had myself muted by mistake there. I just want to say that before I say my list, there's 2 movies I did not get to watch yet that I wanted to watch, and they were Decision to Leave and The Whale. So if someone's like, I can't believe you didn't mention these, it's just because I didn't see them yet. But I feel like Decision to Leave would be one of the best, because one of my favorite movies, this is my honorable mention, is Parasite. I didn't get to see it until it was on Hulu this year, and it's definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. So that's my honorable mention. But my number 4 is going to make Eternal Melancholy a little disappointed. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Wait,
because
your number 5 is Texas
5.
Chainsaw?
Yeah, my number 5 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it's the only Texas Chainsaw that actually gave us a massacre. It was on the bus. And, as my viewers know me as the gore connoisseur, it gave me, it could have done better because it did CG out a couple times. It was mostly practical, but they CG out a couple times. But it's a fun movie. There's some problems with some of the writing of the younger characters. I think they were trying to go for the whole kind of political Gen Z thing, but I don't think they really nailed it. But then, I'm speaking as an outsider. I'm not part of that generation. But to me, I was looking at the dialogue and I'm like, the young people that I know in that age group don't really talk that way. I feel like this is kind of, I don't know, almost putting them down. And I was like, is it somebody who doesn't like them?
Possibly. I'm with you. I like that. I thought it was a good movie. I liked all the I liked the sledgehammer to the knee. I mean,
yes,
was great.
The first kill when he broke the dude's wrist and then took his own bone and shoved it into his neck. I was like, this is what I wanted to see.
It had some of the best kills in the franchise. Honestly, I mean, say what you will about the mask or whatever. It's just really good stuff in that movie.
There was some callbacks with the Mask 2 Part 2, like when he stopped to put on the makeup. That's very much Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of people forgot that part when Leatherface, which that was also Tobe Hooper that directed that. The Leatherface did use makeup in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which was more comedic take than the original.
In terms of the other two movies you mentioned, I have seen The Whale, and it almost appeared on my worst list.
Really? I heard so many positive things about it. Wow.
The movie, it's not what you think it is. That's all I'm going to say. It felt like a really exploitative, gross, nasty movie. Like it didn't. I thought it was going to be like
like a drama,
like a sweet kind of like father-daughter kind of movie.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I thought it was disgusting. Honestly, it almost made me throw up in one scene. And the movie begins, and this is not a spoiler, but it begins with our character, the whale. It's not a spoiler. It begins with him jerking off to gay porn.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, whoa, okay, movie. I was not expecting that. That I was like, the movie, like it comes out.
There's more subtle ways of showing that he's gay, like
absolutely. So but people love it. I mean, Brendan is amazing. Absolutely deserves all the Oscars.
Is he doing webcam or what is it?
I think he's just watching Pornhub or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's just like I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting kind of like, I don't know, Forrest Gump with like a super fat guy. I don't know, but
and they could have made it something really positive because there aren't a whole lot of lead characters that are LGBTQ, and they're just plus. And they could have, like, by starting it that way, that's almost dehumanizing. Like I could see that happening later on in the film, but why start it that way?
Yeah, but also, a lot of moments. Also, thanks for the spoiler alert. Seriously,
I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot of moments in the movie where you're like, oh, you didn't have to show that, because it makes you feel like not bad for him, but kind of repulsed. And like,
I wouldn't be repulsed by that. I feel like it's just the placement of it. Let us get to know the character, because that's a thing people do. People, they pleasure themselves. That's human nature mostly. Well, unless you're asexual, maybe you don't do that. But you know what I mean.
I've never heard of that before.
Well, I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch him taking a shower. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like, you didn't need to show that. Okay?
I'm going to play the devil's advocate again. I've spent 40 years of my life, well, not 40 years, because I didn't, not my whole life, but there's oftentimes I've had to sit through women showering, and it's like, I got boobs of my own. I don't need to see hers. I don't care.
Oh, no, sure.
But they do it over and over again.
I feel like it's not necessary for this movie. And
I get what you're saying.
A woman showering, there's a reason for that, and there's an audience for that. There ain't no audience for this.
There is a lid to every pot.
Separate.
There are people who make money selling feet photos. Okay, there's a lid to every pot.
I make damn good money, thank you.
Tony Tripod back on the stream, everybody.
Yes.
Tony, the check's in the mail, bud. The check's in the mail.
We're going off topic. I don't know if anyone's going to.
I'm sorry. I'm going to stop doing that because I know the time limit here.
But no, that's fine. And also, Decision to Leave honestly left me a little cold. And I love that filmmaker. And you can see it for free on Mubi. If you get it's mubi.com. They have it there. If you sign up for a free account, you can watch it there for free. It's well directed, but it left me cold. It didn't knock me out like I wanted. Trekkercast, do you have an honorable mention before we move on?
No, I don't.
Okay, Tony, number 5.
Well, I'm going to have an honorable mention as well. Okay. And I wish I could have a few, but...
You can have a few.
Well, one of them would be Roadhouse. I really enjoyed that a lot. I finally saw it, and I loved it. Another one would be Voyage of the Rock Aliens. I enjoyed the hell out of that one. Loved it. Loved it. And I think that's all I was thinking of that. But I would actually say probably this movie I just watched other night as well is called Hearts Beat Loud. It's I think it's Utopia actually.
Okay.
It's one of the partner labels, but it has the guy who played Ron Johnson or whatever from Parks and Rec.
Oh sure, yeah.
Him and his daughter, and they're kind of like drifting apart. She's gonna go to school, and then he owns a records shop that is gonna end up having to close because it's getting expensive, and they have their own little jam session, and they start writing music, and then he puts it online, and then they start getting hits, and it's just like a nice movie because then there's a reason why there's no mother in the picture and stuff like that. It was such a really good movie. It made me, and the music in it was really good. Made me actually starting to try to write some songs again. So I really liked it a lot. So yeah, Hearts Beat Loud.
That's good to know. I actually was interested in watching that one. And hopefully you'll be writing the theme song for season 3.
Yeah.
A little hint to Voyage season 3. Potentially something fun coming down the line. All right, LD, number 5 best.
All right, I'm gonna get either laughs or groans for this, but I don't care. I like Black Adam.
Okay.
Yeah. I am a sucker for DC films. Not all of them, but I am a sucker for most DC films. And it's obviously not the film you expect it to be based on the trailers alone. But you know what? I had a good time with it. I had fun with it. Of course, the post-credit scene was absolutely amazing. But of course, based on recent news, we now all have blue balls because of it. But overall, I had a good time with Black Adam. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too.
Blue balls.
I still haven't watched it, but it's on HBO Max now, so I'm gonna get to it eventually. Yeah.
Are you looking forward to the next one?
Yeah, there isn't a next one. I mean, I know there's Shazam 2 coming out, so. But
which is a shame because I was hoping that would be the pairing because they set Black Adam up to be Shazam's villain. So for them to come back and say, "Oh, we're not making another Black Adam," okay, so then what happens with Shazam? Because that was a pretty good. I mean, the way it started off was pretty good. I haven't seen the sequel yet, but
that kind of seems to be the new thing with DC. Like they're in this weird phase now where they set up stuff, but then now it's like we never see it. Like I really enjoyed the heck out of Justice League, the Snyder cut. And I know it's kind of like its own entity in a way, but like everything that they set up at the end, and we're not going to get to see it. You know,
they finally brought in Martian Manhunter, and they're just like, "Oh, forget about it."
Yeah. Glad you enjoyed him because we're never going to see it again. You know.
The main problem was there was 500 people behind the scenes, and there was always a different person in charge, and then that person wanted to do something different. There's no Kevin Feige like over at Marvel who kind of controls it all, and that's what sucks. And it's unfortunate because now Shazam, the Flash, and Aquaman are the last of that new thing, and they're going to start from scratch, which sucks because those movies are going to be thrown away, and they're not going to make any money because who's going to watch them?
I heard that they were going to put James Gunn over everything there.
He's in charge right now. Yeah,
that's what I heard.
And it's funny because it's such a Hollywood thing. Because he's like, sorry guys, Henry Cavill's not coming back as Superman, but we are making a new Superman movie, and I'm gonna write it. I just feel like, come on, dude.
Can I say something? I can't believe that I feel bad for Henry Cavill. I just feel like he's like a guy who's just sort of like been kind of screwed over a few times. You know, just like ended up, and he's just a nerd. You know.
Well, they're saying that Amazon is looking at him for Warhammer.
He's already doing that.
Well, good. I mean, I hope something works out for him because, he is talented. He's very talented.
The scuttlebutt in town is that he's an asshole. And he's like a secret bitch, and like
I love that term, secret bitch.
It's something my wife came up with.
Secret
and so people hate working with him, and I think that's why he's had trouble. That's why he's had trouble. Sucks. That's why they killed him off in Mission Impossible. That's why because apparently they weren't going to, but they're like, let's just get rid of this guy. That's why Superman 2 hasn't come out. It's just he's just not cool, which sucks.
That's very insider of you. That's
yeah. I mean, if you do enough research, you just people talking about that. They really nasty person to work with, which sucks.
That's what happened with Katherine Heigl. She ended up having a bad reputation for her the way she interacts with people and
Yeah, well, apparently that was the same thing with Megan Fox too. That's why, like, in the third Transformers movie, like he just gets a new girlfriend.
Yeah,
but to be fair with Megan Fox, she was still a teenager. I'm like, you can't. I don't know, because the way Michael Bay was having her bend over. Was she being difficult, or was she being asked to do things she shouldn't have been asked to do at 17 years old?
I'm with you. The camera was right up. I mean, I remember seeing those trailers, and it was like, oh wow!
I thought she was a grown woman. I really thought she was a grown woman, and I found out later she was a teenager, and I was like, well, that shit ain't right.
Yeah,
she's like my age or something like that, but like still,
she had to fix the car, guys. That's the only way to fix the car.
Right? Yeah.
All right, London Hawk, your number 5 best.
My number 5 is a throwback to old-fashioned splatter movies, and it was Terrifier 2. I just loved being able to go to a theater and see an unrated, maximalist 2-hour and 20-minute gore fest with Art the Clown, who's probably the first horror icon since maybe Jigsaw and Billy the Clown from Saw 2004. And I like that. Unlike the previous film, they actually had characters that you kind of cared about and were kind of upset to see die, but not really because you want to see the gore. And as far as just a pure fun movie, especially on one of the worst nights of my year, I really needed that movie and highly enjoyed it. So Terrifier 2.
Mm-hmm. For the salt scene.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Good movie, man. Yeah, that's a wild one. But I can see how people who aren't used to that kind of stuff would really react negatively to vomiting and all that stuff.
Oh,
that's great. I love it. S'mores Indoors. What's your favorite film of the year?
Well, I actually need to take off here soon, so if I can go through my top 5, that'd be
absolutely,
awesome.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So number 5, I had The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Nicolas Cage. I had a lot of fun with that one.
Great.
Just a lot of throwback to his.
That's awesome.
I got this at an advanced screening of the movie.
That's Nick. Fucking woo, Cage.
Number 4, Nope. Just love kind of the intense moments in that, and especially one thing that I noticed was the lighting in the outdoor scenes at night. Just really beautiful looking. Shot movie.
It was shot day for night, by the way. That was shot all during the daytime.
Oh,
and they
wow.
colored it to nighttime. That's why it looks like that. It has like a weird nighttime look. Day for night. Yeah.
My number 3 is Clerks 3. Those movies, all 3 of those movies kind of hit me at the right point in my life, and they all kind of speak to me in each moment when they came out, and that one was, I think, the best thing he's done in several years, in my opinion.
Okay.
Number 2, when nostalgia's done well, it's pretty addictive, and Top Gun Maverick, not so much the Top Gun aspect, but it took me back to when I was a kid when Tom Cruise was in the blockbusters in the summer. Kind of had that feel, and I thought all the story was well done, and enjoyed it a lot. And number 1, my favorite movie, one I'll revisit for years to come, just a lot of fun, was Barbarian. So
nice. Which still doesn't have a physical, but hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Who knows? S'mores, thank you so much for joining us. Before you head off, you want to give us a little plug on your channel, what people can expect?
Yeah, my channel's kind of all over the place. I do interviews with media collectors from time to time. Do interviews, which I think are some of the best things that we have on the channel. I've done interviews with Michael Channels. He was one of Charles Manson's best friends near Manson's end of his life, all the way to 90s adult producer Seymour Butts. We had him on before.
Nice.
And we do a lot of movie talk and all kinds of crazy stuff.
I love that guy. Oh yeah.
I've heard of him.
Seymour Butts. That's great. All right, guys, go check out S'mores Indoors. A link will be in the description, depending on when you're watching, but it'll be on here. Go check him out, or just type in S'mores Indoors and you'll find his channel. Thank you so much.
Nice
Happy New
meeting
Year.
Have a good
Yeah,
night,
we'll
man.
see you
Happy New
soon.
Year.
Happy New Year, brother.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Philip, give us your number 5 favorite.
Okay, can I just quickly do a honorable mentions? Very
Sure,
quickly.
go ahead.
Okay, so I would say again, Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had never seen it before, and I was one of those people, and I think this is a mind-blowing 4K, but we don't need to get into that.
We
Roadhouse.
both lost our Roadhouse virginity this year.
Yeah, it's an honorable mention. Convoy Busters is an honorable mention.
Okay.
Yeah. Shanghai Joe.
Like that movie.
This is the guy who does the commentary, Eric Zaldivar. I called him Zalvadar in my review.
Uh-oh.
And he still saw it, and he liked it, and he sent me a friend request, and I got his name wrong.
Cool.
But I gave him a shout out in my review, and I got his name wrong. And he's a sweet So somehow he saw my review, and but really his visual essay is fantastic on this. Anyway, a shout out to him because he's awesome. Counterfeit Trader from Imprint. This is an amazing espionage World War II drama with William Holden. Klaus Kinski also shows up in this. Great. The Nelson Affair, also from Imprint.
Oh, wait. Is this all your number 5s?
No. These are
We're
honorable mentions.
just doing number 5 right now.
Oh, okay. All right. I will get to number 5.
Okay. These are all honorable mentions. Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah.
Those were my honorable. I was going quickly. It was like Long Ships. One more there. That's it. Here's my number 5. Freeway.
Nice. Yeah, Freeways. That was new to me too. That was a really good movie.
Now, this was what was in the stores. I always avoided this.
Yeah.
Now, I avoided this because of this cover, and there were always about 400 copies in the store, and that's why I avoided it. And then it came out, and then I kept getting. I got messages, and people were like, have you seen this? Are you watching this?" And it's like, this is insane. So yeah, that's my number 5. Sorry if I took so long with my honorable mentions there.
No, I wasn't sure how much when you were done and if you were going through your whole thing or not. But
yeah,
all right, cool.
anyway, but yeah, that's my number 5.
Love it. Great film.
Reese looks so good in that.
She does.
Oh.
She does. Okie dokie.
Why did I think it was Alicia Silverstone? I'm sitting here thinking, is that Alicia Silverstone? I used to confuse them. I know they don't look exactly alike, but they remind me of each other.
A little similar, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 4 bests. My number 4 was actually on Frankie's worst, but I unapologetically loved it. I think it was probably the best directed movie of the year, and that's Michael Bay's Ambulance. Knocked me out. Holy crap! What a ride. I say what you will. Yes, it's a little long, but damn, that movie is directed within an inch of its life. Absolutely, the stuff I want to see on screen, and the kind of shots that I was like, I don't even know how the hell he pulled this off. He must be like, did he hire angels to hold the camera? I mean, I know there was drones were used, and but the drones the cars are crashing, and the drones go through the car crash. It's insanity. So well made, so tensely put together. Jake Gyllenhaal is fantastic. I'm blanking on the name of the other actor. He was in Aquaman.
Candyman, right?
He was Candyman.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Yeah.
That's it. He was great.
He was also in Watchmen. He played
Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah. I loved that show. I love
Great
that
show.
series. Yeah.
Ambulance. I know it gets a lot of hate, but I was as a film fan and as a filmmaker, I was thoroughly impressed. And I think it's a movie I'm gonna revisit every once in a while when I just need a fix of just good old fashioned, just American action. I mean, the dude knows how to shoot action, and I loved it. It's a great little movie.
Does it make you want to get shot and ride in one? Like that much?
Does it make me get shot and ride in an ambulance?
Does it make you want to get shot and ride in?
Let's act out the movie Ambulance, guys. Yeah. No, not that much. I'll just watch the movie
Okay, good.
Watch something. But great, yeah, great cast, really well made. I think it's a stellar movie, and I think it deserves a watch. If you've heard it sucks, I say give it a watch for yourself and then decide. But I think it's expertly made, really well crafted. That's my number 4. Rolf, what's your number 4 best?
Okay, so as much as I hated Cinderella, I was really shocked to be how much I enjoyed Spirited, the Apple TV.
Okay.
Christopher Carol. It's a wonderful musical. It's funny. It's a great twist on the story. They're both very impressive. Ryan Reynolds singing and dancing with Will Ferrell. He's got a great voice. Done by the same composers of The Greatest Showman, which I also love. But it's a real great feel-good musical comedy, old-fashioned musical comedy.
You know, that's a good one. I loved it. I'm not going to say anything here for spoiler reasons, but I loved it up until we get to Christmas Future and something happens to a character.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was so dark, especially for like a family Christmas movie, that it changed my entire perception of the movie. And as much as I love Octavia Spencer, I think she complicated that movie. I don't think she was necessary, but I'm being picky.
Because remember, that's the Tiny Tim story. That's the complete modern version of how you would do Tiny Tim in today's world.
Yeah, but going that dark feels like it felt like it like. I don't want to spoil anything, but I felt
died.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
but it's different how he died. Anyway,
he only died baby himself, you know. So it's like,
all right, very good. Tracker number 4.
Okay, speaking of going dark, my number 4 is going to be the Batman.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, because I thought Pattinson did a really good job as Batman, and Colin Farrell as the Penguin was great too.
Colin Farrell's great in everything.
Yeah, no, he is. But I thought the movie was really fun. It was really cool, and I hope he stays as the Batman. But we'll see.
Yeah,
I'd love Michael Keaton to be back though. But we'll see.
I'm 100% with you. I loved it too. Loved it.
The microphone.
I was waiting for Shayna to watch it, but I think I'm just gonna watch it on my own.
Yeah, just watch it again after.
You know what? I wanted to love it. I think it's a good movie. But to me, the whole like when he's at the crime scene dressed as Batman and he walks in and all the cops are looking at him, I just started laughing because I feel like is he just like this guy's just cosplaying in a crime scene? I don't know, man.
He's walking around thinking, I hope they don't see me.
And they're like, who's this guy? He's just walking down the hallway. It just looked goofy to me. I don't know.
They could have added some songs to the soundtrack because I swear they played Something in the Way like 4 or 5 times.
Actually, it's only twice. It's only twice.
Okay.
It's only twice.
Okay.
I swear it's only twice. It's only twice.
But that is a pretty solid movie. Oh, by the way, honorable mention for me, the Banshees of Inisherin. That is a really good movie with Colin Farrell. Fantastic, lovely movie.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, Lady Sasha, number 4.
My number 4 is called Hatching, which is a co-production between Finland and Sweden, and it's about a young lady who. Her life is kind of complex. She's a gymnast, and her mother is trying to be an influencer on looks like they're a YouTube, not YouTube for the movie. And her mother is obsessed with perfection, and she finds this egg in the woods after her mother has taken care of this bird that flew in their house, and she thinks it's the bird's egg, but it grows into something entirely different. And number 1, the animatronics they used were great. They used a combination of animatronics and some creature makeup because the creature goes through different metamorphoses. And it also tells a great story of, I guess it's sort of a coming of age story, but the stronger story was her relationship with her mother. But very, very great movie. And I love it. It had a pastel color palette, which is not something you'll often see in horror.
That's true. That is a great choice. Fantastic film. It almost felt like a Jim Henson horror movie.
Yeah.
The creature has Jim Henson-esque appeal to it. I like that movie quite a bit. That's
they did use a puppet for 2 parts of its transformation. It was was
yeah, freaky shit. Great movie.
So you had to read the subtitles the whole time, right?
No, there actually are 2 versions. There's a subtitle version and there is a dubbed version.
I think I have on Hulu. I don't know. Does it offer that? I wonder.
I'm not sure. I think I watched it on Amazon Prime.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it because I was like, I don't mind subtitles at all, but I was like started that and I'm like, I don't feel like reading.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I just don't want to read.
For me, it depends on if it's a drama. Subtitles are fine, but action movies, I prefer not to watch the subtitles because I'm missing the action when I'm trying to read the subtitles.
Sure.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm the same way with anime. I don't care what they say. I'd rather watch the animation than have to look at little words and miss all the cool stuff happening on the screen.
Right. Yeah.
Tony, number 4.
Number 4 is one that it's not on your list, but I'm sure it was an honorable worst mention in your head. Is Righting Wrongs. I loved Righting Wrongs. I immediately watched a different version right after I just watched the first. I was like, I liked so much the first time I ever saw the main guy, the actor. First time I ever saw him in a movie, and I never heard of him before. And I thought he was I thought it was a really good movie, and I just enjoyed the hell out of it.
I loved it too. I really did. I did. I enjoyed it too. And it broke you, didn't it? It broke you. You did a video that said you.
That was the one where I'm like,
yeah.
you know what? I'm just not connecting. And I love those movies. And I love Yun Biao. By the way, you do know him, Tony. Weren't you on the Fat Samurai stream when we did Wheels on Meals?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you were, and he's in that. But you might have run into him in some other thing. But
Meals on Wheels?
Yeah, it's called Wheels on Meals because I'm not gonna get into it, but that's what it's called. It's Jackie Chan and Yun Biao and Sammo Hung. I know you've seen it. I'm pretty sure you've seen it because we've talked about it.
Is that one where everybody liked it and I didn't?
Well, I didn't like it either.
Oh,
but
I don't know. I have to check it out. But
Rick Myers liked it, and then you and I were like, eh.
I'll have to go back and check that out. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, good pick. LD number 4.
TC mentioned this, and I'm surprised I forgot about this. So I'm just going to quickly just mention this as an honorable mention. The Batman. I really enjoyed that, and a very cool way to do the Riddler. So yeah, that's my one honorable mention. Number 4 on my list is Weird, the Weird Al Yankovic story.
Oh.
Yeah, that was fun.
I really enjoyed that, and when you realize in the first 30 seconds of the film this movie is also a parody. I just loved it. Tons of cameos in the film. I especially love the party scene at the pool.
Yeah,
where it's just like all these obscure, like big name people playing like all these obscure celebrities. Like Conan O'Brien plays Andy Warhol. And just great fun. Daniel Radcliffe surprisingly does a really great job as Weird Al. But aside from that, it feels like it was filmed really, really well. Like it has a really good look to it. Like every image looks really, really good. So yeah, that's my number 4.
I have not seen that yet, but I'm dying to. That's great. Lennon Hawk, number 4.
My number 4 was mentioned in the chat. It's a horror movie from Taiwan called The Sadness. And it's about a viral disease that basically erases people's morals and their ability to do inhibitions. And so it basically follows a 2-pronged plot where 2 halves of a couple are trying to reach each other while just murder and mayhem and sexual assault and a bunch of really dark stuff is happening. And to me, it was like the closest thing to a modern day category 3 film where it's just about all of the extremes as well as like the bleak, dark, hopeless nihilism, which is something I actually like in my horror movies. I don't think we get enough of just absolutely draining of all hope. And so I was just very surprised when I watched that. And I'm like, this is exactly the dark, depressing, ultra gory movie that I want from, even though it's not a zombie movie, it's more like The Crazies or 28 Days Later, where it follows the basic conventions, but it's not technically a zombie movie. So come at me, purists. But I really just wanted that from that movie, and it delivered in spades. So The Sadness.
Amazing. That may pop up again. We may hear from that about that movie a little later. Philip, let us know what your number 4 favorite one is.
Well, actually, and again, it's not a new film. The 2022 film will come near or at the beginning or at the end. This comes from the House of Psychotic Women set from Severin.
Oh my God! Are you kidding?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm very serious.
Okay.
I'm serious. It's called Identikit.
Okay.
Or The Driver's Seat, I believe. I really like this. It's with Liz Taylor, and it's really surreal. It's shot by Vittorio Storaro, and he did Apocalypse Now. He did Fifth Chord. I mean, he's a very precise cinematographer, and beyond that, it's like Yorgos Lanthimos.
Mm-hmm.
He did The Lobster and films like that,
The Favorite,
Killing of a and The Killing of a Sacred Deer. It's almost like that before he existed. It's incredibly bizarre, and it totally sucked me in. And there are other films, and there's one film in the box set that is really, really bad.
Yeah.
I will say that.
We probably saw that.
Woo! Woo! Bad. But this one here, this was my number 4. It blew me away, and it was one of those films I'd never heard of, and I love Elizabeth Taylor. And so just simple enough. I don't need to get too deep, but I highly recommend it. And
okay,
if you can find
Great.
it. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna. No, actually, this is a perfect place for it. Number 3. Let's get started on number 3s. The Sadness. This movie's fucking amazing. This movie rocks, dude. And it's just so well made. Again, it's one of my favorite recent zombie movies. Probably my favorite is Train to Busan, because that movie manages to not only it's the only horror movie ever to make me cry, because it makes you care about the characters in a way that you don't normally see in these kind of movies. Yeah, their fodder, who cares who dies, but that movie is so precious about just the relationships, and it's such a I'm kind of worried about the remake that's coming down the line. It's got a good director, but we'll see what happens. It's set in New York, I think. It's coming next year, but anyway, The Sadness reminds me of Busan, but it's the nastier one without all the emotion. It's just pure fucking blood. I mean, that subway car massacre has to go down in history as one of the great, bloodbaths of all time. Incredibly hard to do something like that. It unbelievably difficult to pull that moment off. Continuity and all the stuff, and who's covered in blood, who isn't covered in blood. Okay, we have to get this angle. Oh, we didn't establish that guy had a thing. So there's so much that goes into that one scene that boggles the mind, that I think it's just one of the great filmmaking feats that I've seen this year. The Sadness, absolutely watch it. It is a masterpiece. Loved it very much. All right, number 3, Rolf.
Number 3, different mood. I loved it. See How They Run.
Oh, okay.
It's a great Agatha Christie style murder mystery all around the real play of The Mousetrap, which was running in the 50s. I don't know how much you know about it, but this script manages to be like a comedy, a murder mystery. It just dissects the whole concept of murder mysteries. So it's sort of a meta, while it still does it. And the more you know, I saw The Mousetrap in London years and years ago. And the thing about this, which I didn't know from the trailer of this movie, is do you know anything about The Mousetrap, guys?
I've only heard of the name.
Okay.
Sorry.
So the Mousetrap was a little Agatha Christie murder mystery play, and it became a huge success, and studios wanted to make a movie out of it. So they bought the rights to the show. But the stipulation in the contract, and this is in the movie, but it's true, is that Agatha Christie said the movie couldn't get made until the second run of the show. The first run had to stop. And when they bought the rights to it, they said, well, is that going to be a problem? And they're like, well, no, because once people know who the mirror is, the show will stop. But the show ran for 70 plus years, so they can never make the movie, which is all true. So what this movie is about is a murder at the show, which could be the reason for the studio wanting to stop the show so they can make the movie, or who all the suspects are.
Oh, that's cool.
And the gag is that this movie was actually made because it shows parts of the Mousetrap, because the Mousetrap is finally in its second run, because it finally had to close in 2020 due to COVID.
Oh,
so that's the only thing that could stop this show, and that's how they were able to make this movie after the initial run, because it's running again. So it's that's all behind the scenes. Doesn't ruin the movie at all, but it's a great story within a story within a story. So even the title, See How They Run, the running of the show, the Mousetrap, the nursery rhyme, the whole it's a wonderful, it's a fun movie.
Let me write that one down. That sounds up my alley.
Yeah, you'll love it. If you like the Glass Onion and all these murder mysteries, the redos, See How They Run is kind of brilliant. Yeah,
I gotta watch that. It's on HBO Max right now, so I gotta check that out.
Yeah,
good cast too.
Great cast.
Sam Rockwell.
Amazing. Yeah. Okay, great. TC number 3.
My number 3 is a fairly old movie, but I saw it recently. I've been seeing it like ever since it came out, like hundreds of times. And it's not a big movie at all necessarily, but I've always enjoyed it. It's 1989 Cyborg.
Oh, you've never seen Cyborg?
No, I have. I've watched it hundreds of times since it came out.
Oh, but it has to be a new movie.
I saw it. No, but I saw it this year. I saw it recently. Again.
But you've never seen it before.
No,
I have
seen it for the first time.
No, it has to be a new movie you haven't seen this year.
Oh, I thought it was anything as long as you saw it this year.
Anything new that you've seen this year.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Because I can say Jaws, It's a Wonderful Life.
Well, no, I threw it because I saw it. That's fine. I guess then I would have to say, okay, Bullet Train.
Okay.
Bullet Train, yeah. I really enjoyed apart from the action, the comedy, all the characters, the actors in it. I like the whole deal.
Bullet Train is good. I almost want to read the book, but I don't think it's going to be as fun as the movie. So.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see. All right, Lady Sasha, what do you think? Number 3.
My number 3 was The Sadness, but since it's been mentioned so many times, I'm going to swap it out for something else, even though it's an amazing movie. I already did an 1.5-hour live stream about it, so if y'all want to check that out, please do. I love everything about it, and I will never go to see the new Train to... Really should have been Train to Boston if you're really going to do a remake, but the minute they said that they needed to find a writer, I said, this is doomed. You don't need to rewrite a single thing about that movie. If anything, just hire some celebrities to do a voiceover dub.
Yeah, there you go.
That's do a voiceover dub. Play the original in the theaters. I would have loved seeing that on the big screen. Yeah. But this I had put to the side because I originally thought they were only doing 2022 movies. But then when I saw your email, it said anything new. And this year was the first year I watched this movie called Cruising. And Cruising is very much like, it's like a photograph of a moment in time. I believe it takes place either 1980 or 1981 New York. And at the time that it came out, I learned after watching it. Oh, I should say what it's about. It's about a serial killer in New York. It's based off of a real serial killer that was leaving people kind of chopped up in body bags around New York. And the movie centers around most of that serial killer's victims who were part of the a subculture called like the leather culture within the LGBT community. Now, the controversy that I read about when the movie came out was that because there was so few representations in the media, other than like cameos on sitcoms, you might have a gay character come in, say something witty and then exit. People were very afraid that by showing just the leather scene, that people would think that that's all gay culture, just this leather scene here. And fortunately, watching it during this time period, and I'm watching it now, I don't have those preconceived notions and I wouldn't stereotype that way. But it's really an amazing movie. I believe it stars Al Pacino, and he does an amazing job. And it's so New York. Everything about it is so New York. I feel weird whether I should recommend it or not, but I do recommend it.
Very controversial film. It was
Yes.
The production was very complicated because it was protested. The community, the gay community, and the
they were blowing whistles to kind of mess up the sound and everything.
Exactly.
And I completely see their point during that time period because it was 1980. There wasn't like they said, there wasn't a lot of representation. The way I compare it to is being that I am Black. We oftentimes don't like to see ourselves in a negative representation. This is years past because there was so few representation. You don't want to always just see the gang member or the thug. So you're like, it's very important to have these varied representation. So I get that. But had that been released today, I don't think people would. Well, there's always going to be ignorant people. So there's going to be people that are going to stereotype. But had it been released today, I think people would really like critically acclaim it. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Well, they did do it today.
They did? Do you mean? Are you talking about the
American Horror Story?
Yeah, I saw the first episode and I was like, oh, this is cruising.
Cruising, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't finish the series. I only saw the first episode. But then they kept on showing the guy in the gimp mask, and I'm like, is he going to be the red herring or?
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was in an Uber in California a couple of months ago, and the song "It's So Easy" from the closing credits of Cruising came on, and I said to the driver, "Oh, that's from the movie Cruising." It's like, "Oh yeah, that was the most unrealistic thing about that movie was the music that they played in the clubs. Like back then, apparently they played like Donna Summer and something, but that movie played like scary industrial funk music." And he said like that's like the only thing that's still kind of homophobic is that they made it scary music, and it would have just been like Blondie or disco or something.
Yeah.
He had like
1980s, amazing music in 1980.
Yeah, good choice. Good choice. Tony, number 3.
I would say, for me, I think Rolf didn't like it, but I like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Okay.
I love anything that has to do with parallel universes and multiverses and shit. And I didn't really care for the first Doctor Strange movie, but this one I really like. I like seeing different versions of him and just how. And I didn't know it was a Sam Raimi movie when I was watching it, but it was. It's just neat to see, like, other realities and stuff like that, and I don't know. I just really enjoyed of all the Marvel movies that one. I probably watched that like this year, probably like 7 or 8 times.
Wow.
And yeah, and I'm not a huge I know like Love and Thunder. I'm not a really big Thor fan. So I thought it looked nice. I thought it was a very beautiful, colorful movie, especially when it goes black and white and everything. But the storyline, I didn't care about it. I wanted more Guardians in it, to be honest. I like Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, I'd say Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I really liked that a lot.
Wow, 7 times. That's great. That's a long movie too. So that's a big chunk of your life.
Yeah.
Well, the scene with Wanda, I won't spoil it, but there's a scene with Wanda where she goes in. It's deals with this council is amazing. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
So I know what you speak of.
Yes,
that was also neat too because for a while they wanted to get John Krasinski, like, oh, he should play
Reed Richards.
Yeah.
And then and he showed up. I didn't know he was in it, and he showed up, and I was like, oh, that's awesome.
In LD, you talked about the blue balls that the ending of Black Adam gave. What they gave us with the X-Men music, they played that. I don't think so.
Yeah. Hey, look at there's the blue balls in time.
Oh my god. All right. Speaking of blue balls, LD, what do you got for number 3?
Yeah, thanks for that transition there.
I'm trying.
I know. Number 3 for me was Castle Freak.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I have to say, I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed that. I thought the acting was incredibly well done. The freak, I actually felt for him. And just everything about it just has like a strange beauty to it. So I really enjoyed watching that. And we reviewed that on another Full Moon Fright Club. But yeah, I really enjoyed the heck out of Castle Freak.
Amazing. I'm glad that's on here.
I haven't watched that since probably when it first came out, and back then I didn't really care for that kind of stuff, and I remember back then liking it, and I've been wanting to rewatch it now, but I haven't, and I should do it because everybody I hear anymore is like, it's Castle Freak. I hear it a lot. So it's good to hear good stuff.
Lennon Hawk, number 3.
My number 3 was a movie starring Rebecca Hall and Tim Roth called Resurrection. And it's about a single mother, and one day an ex-boyfriend starts to show up around town, and even though he doesn't engage with her, she's upset because he was severely emotionally abusive to her when they were together. And everybody loved this scene in Pearl where Mia Goth is just sort of delivering a monologue directly into the camera. And Rebecca Hall has a scene in this movie that's a lot like that and is similarly very much as powerful. And what I really loved about the movie was the Tim Roth character, who is the abusive ex-boyfriend. He's not abusive in like a Sleeping with the Enemy movie type way. He's abusive in the way like a Neil LaBute character used to be in like In the Company of Men or Your Friends and Neighbors. Okay. Someone who is so emotionally evil and yet is technically not doing anything like illegal. And so that lets people like sort of gaslight the woman into thinking like this isn't happening or this guy's not even showing up. And it's this very unique, interesting way of depicting an emotionally abusive relationship that does happen in real life, but I don't have ever seen depicted in a film. And then it does get a little bit more horror-esque as it goes on until it has a devastating ending. But it was just a really powerful film that I highly enjoyed. Not many people saw it because it premiered at Sundance and then Shudder bought the rights and they just dumped it on their streaming service. But it's definitely worth seeking out if someone hasn't seen it or heard about it because it's really brilliant. And if it didn't go directly to streaming, Rebecca Hall would be in the Oscar conversation.
I agree.
Wow, I've not heard of it, so I'm gonna have to check this out. It's on Shudder, you said?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I love that. A new discovery awaiting me. All right, Philip, what do you got? What's your number 3 favorite movie?
It was another surprise, a film I hadn't heard of. Just hands up here. Has anyone here heard of the film The Music of Chance?
No.
Exactly. I hadn't either. And Imprint put this out this year. And it has James Spader, Mandy Patinkin, M. Emmett Walsh, Charles Durning, Joel Grey, Samantha Mathis, and Chris Penn in it.
Joel Grey.
Yes, and Joel Grey is on the disc, and he gives an interview about the film. So is M. Emmett Walsh. It's out of print now, and this is a film that I reviewed, and when you write a review, when I do it anyway, I try for as small as I can go, as digestible as possible. But usually it's 4 or 5 paragraphs. It's just the way it is. That's just what I do. Who gives a shit? Anyway, but I did this in 3, and because it's one of those films that is it's one of the most unique gambling films. It may be the most unique gambling film I've ever seen in my life, and it takes a turn that you never see coming. I'll just this is the inside slip.
The Music of Chance. Okay.
Yeah, and I very highly recommend it, and that was a very nice surprise for me. So
amazing.
There you go.
Very cool. Another discovery that I need to track down.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, number 2. Number 2 for me was is an Asian film that I discovered early in the year, and it floored me. Again, similar to Sadness and Ambulance, it is just one of those white knuckle movies. It just grips you and doesn't let go, but it does it in a way that's very simple. No explosions, no gunfire, nothing like that. This is the movie Midnight. It's a Korean film. I believe it's from last year. Starring, it's about a serial killer who runs into a deaf-mute woman in the streets of, Korea, wherever, Seoul. I'm not sure where it takes place, but and she stumbles onto a victim. The killer tries to kill her, and she has to escape. Problem is, she can't communicate with the police. The police think, this guy talks, and he's like, "Oh no, she's my sister. She's just losing her mind. I'm gonna, take her home and stuff like that." And it is this epic cat and mouse movie that takes place. It's almost real time through the streets of Korea, as she tries to evade this guy who wants to kill her because she knows that he is the serial killer that the police are looking for. And it is jaw-dropping, so fun, and I've watched it 3 times, and I don't normally get a chance to rewatch stuff. I'm watching a lot of new things, and I don't have time to rewatch. But that movie was so compelling that I wanted to show it to people, and actually put it on one of my my foreign horror panel show. That was one of my first picks. I know Tony was on that episode.
That's the one I was thinking you were talking about before.
Yeah.
Midnight, and everybody liked that. I'm like, eh.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be it. But absolute. It's on Tubi. You can watch it for free, and it's an absolutely amazing movie. Really well done. Again, just simple. It's 4 or 5 people in the cast, and it's just literally them running through the streets, looking for help or evading this guy, and it is just tense as anything I've seen this year. Loved it very, very much. Rolf, number 2.
Number 2 is a favorite and deserves all the acclaim it's getting and going to get. Everything, Everywhere, all at once. Yeah.
Great movie.
It's a great movie. Yeah. That does the multi-universes in a fantastically original way. And, it's people seen it?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen part of it. I didn't get to finish it. I'm going to be finishing it this weekend. But so far, it started really great. And I love Jamie Lee Curtis in it. Like, I almost didn't recognize her at first because she embodies this, the amazing average Joe that works in a cubicle type person.
She's so good. And I didn't know the first time I saw it that the lead guy was Short Round.
Yeah.
And he's fantastic. Yeah. It's going to get nominations and Oscars, and hopefully.
I read he came out of retirement to work with Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Well, what he wrote was he said that he left, and then after Crazy Rich Asians, he decided, well, if I was ever going to get back into acting, this is the time. And the first thing he auditioned for is this, and he got it. And it's amazing. And Michelle Yeoh is her life too. And I love the Daniels' first movie, the Swiss Army Man. I thought it was amazing.
That was a fun movie.
Yeah. So these guys are doing very creative, original stuff in this business still.
Speaking of difficult movies to make, I can't imagine what a headache that must have been to edit, because it is so hyperkinetic with different scenes shot in completely different places and making it all stream in the same scene. It was like just kudos, just my admiration to them for making that all make sense and filming in the editing bay. So
if you watch the Blu-ray, the behind the scenes stuff and some of the deleted scenes are hysterical. They should have all been in the movie. It's great. You got to see all that stuff too.
Do they have anything on there about the costume designer? Because her daughter's, I didn't get to see all the costumes yet, but her daughter had worn several different costumes, and they were fascinating.
Oh, they are, yeah. I think there's stuff. There's about everything about the movie, but how they made. But it looks like they really had such a fun time doing just crazy stuff.
The promotional piece of hot dogs.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what the hell that is. And then you see the movie, it's like, disgusting.
This is the movie that's gonna get Jamie Lee an Oscar, man. I'm telling you, she's gonna be nominated. That'd be crazy. Cool. Masterpiece movie, for sure. Okay. What was that?
It hits the heartstrings, that movie.
Yes,
absolutely. Okay, TC, what's your number 2?
For number 2, I think I'm gonna go for Prey. I really liked Hulu's Prey.
Okay.
That was I thought it was a really cool movie, and I liked how he tied it into Predator 2 with the whole gun thing and all that. But I thought the movie was really cool. Some people don't like it, but it was fun. It was fun.
It worked for me too. I thought the movie did a really good job. I was scared at first, the whole like, oh, it's just gonna be girl versus Predator. She's gonna be stronger than Arnold or something. Yeah. But she earned it. She absolutely earned it, and that's honestly the most important thing is she really earned her spot, and she did a great job, and it was a good movie. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree too.
It was a hero's journey, is what I kept on describing it as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy for her. You know, she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the Mary Sue. You know, she was. You know, she nearly died a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're looking for. You know, I mean, it's perfect.
Can I just quickly interject for 1 second? If I have my eyes closed, I have very bad eye strain right now. It's been going on for about 2 weeks. I think my optometrist gave me the wrong prescription.
Oh.
So if I have my eyes closed, I'm listening intently. I'm not sleeping.
Okay.
Okay.
No worries.
Just so you know, I'm closing them for rest anyway. Just
Gotcha. If you need to dip out, you let me know, okay, pal? Okay. All right, Lady Sasha, number 2.
My number 2 is Barbarian because I love a mess. And when I mean a mess, I don't mean like in a negative way. I mean something happens that you just don't expect, and I love it.
Right,
I really appreciate how they marketed this because they did not let the cat out of the bag. You go in thinking that you're going to see one thing, and it's so much more and so much more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. And the movie, it's funny that LD mentioned this movie. If I say the movie I want to compare it to, people will know what the... Has everyone here seen it?
No.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Tony hasn't.
I
neither has Philip.
haven't.
Okay, so then I won't say, but one of the movies LD mentioned would remind you of Barbarian.
Yeah.
Those that know,
Yeah.
And I love that about this, and I think it's great for a new generation to experience that twist, that oh shit moment.
And it's a couple of movies in one almost that tie in together, so that's cool.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to I don't even know how this happened. They had a screening out here for the movie, and it was before the movie came out, like a month before the movie came out. And the director was there, and Justin Long was there, and I'm blanking on her name, but the main girl in the movie was there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know what to expect. You know, I think I may have seen one trailer, like one brief trailer, and then halfway through, I'm not gonna say what. Halfway through, everyone in the audience screams.
Mm-hmm. The main actress, didn't she look a little bit like Halle Berry? She looked like her younger sister if she had one. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to spoil anything. But afterwards, the director was he's also the writer. He's like, yeah, I was writing this, and I got to a point, and I'm like, oh man, what's gonna happen now? And then he goes, oh, I know, this crazy thing happened. And so that's why it's so shocking because he didn't even know that it was coming up. He just had to do something to change it up. But yeah, great choice.
Yeah, I almost didn't watch it because I'm not a huge fan of bottle films. And that's what I thought it was going to be. Just, it's going to be a psychological thing with these two people in the house. And I'm just going to watch them go back and forth. And that's not what it is at all.
No. Tony, number 2.
Number 2 for me was a movie I wanted to see for a while. And then I saw it for the right price and I bought it. And that's the movie X.
Okay.
It made me feel for, at least most of the cast, especially the guy that was going out with Jenna Ortega's character.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him. And then what happens with him, that whole scene where, finally everything starts going to hell was fantastic. The lighting with the blood and the light from the car or the van and that was amazing. It was creepy, but sad and funny too. I was pleasantly surprised. At the end of a movie, I'll say, even to myself, I'll go, that was good. I was good. And then I start thinking about it, or I'll go like, that was bad. But this one, I'm like, that was a good movie. And so, yeah, I would definitely say X was my number 2.
That was good.
Amazing.
I haven't seen Pearl yet, though.
I enjoyed Pearl even more than X.
Oh, really?
But it's different.
I think Pearl's better too, but it's very different.
Yeah, I would just say if you are more familiar with 1930s, 40s, and 50s cinema, because they kind of mix all three together, you'll get a lot out of it. If you like things like Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and Psycho and Dementia 13, then you'll really kind of like it. Just like X was more of like a slice of 70s cinema. This was a
Yeah.
slice of earlier, and of course the next one, Maxine, is going to be 80s. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just real quick for everyone watching live, for some reason our chat on our end isn't showing people's comments, and I don't know why that is. So I apologize. OGP's in the chat.
We're still live though, right?
We are still live.
We're the only ones on.
We haven't been live for the last 2 hours and 58 minutes.
For some reason, it's
Let's
not
send
showing
comments
people-
amongst ourselves.
So I'm sorry about that, everybody. I don't know why that. I don't know why that's happening. It's like, man, there hasn't been a comment in like a while.
I mean,
I
I've
went
been
over to look.
After we mentioned Begod and everybody jumped ship.
No, we still have a healthy audience. We're at 43. On my screen it says 41, but I don't know, for some reason, I don't know, the chats aren't coming through. Sorry about that, everybody. Anyway, Tony went. Okay, LD. Number 2.
My number 2, just because I thought this was just a fun ride all the way through, and you can tell this was a movie made for fans, and that's Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a fun time with this. Of course, I've seen all of the Spider-Man movies, even the Tobey Maguire movies, and this movie was just fun. You know, I mean, I just had a great time, and it's great to see like everyone for the first time like all together in one film. Is it the best movie story wise? I don't know, but I just had fun with it. I just had a great time fanning out as I watched it. So yeah, that's my number 2.
Cool.
My daughter watched it 7 times in theaters. I think it may have something to do with Tom Holland, but
most likely, yeah.
I saw Jurassic Park 7 times in the cinema. Once in a drive-in. It's the only film I've seen. I know I've seen 7 times. It's funny that's that number. I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go. Synchronicity.
Spider-Man. That's amazing. All right, good choice. Lennon Hawk, number 2.
Number 2 was Watcher, starring Maika Monroe, and it's about a woman who moves to Bucharest with her husband, who's from that country. She doesn't know the language, so she feels isolated and alone in this big apartment, and she sees a shadow in the building across, and she believes it's watching her. And she thinks she's maybe getting stalked, and one day the shadow waves high at her. And the movie, a lot of people will say movies are suspenseful or edge of your seat, and it's just kind of hyperbolic nonsense. This was the first movie I've seen in a long time that literally is suspenseful and edge of your seat. I saw this in a theater that was empty, save for one other person sitting way behind me, and this was like Hitchcockian Brian De Palma at his peak type suspense. It was directed by Chloe Okuno, who did the Hail Rotba sequence from VHS 94, completely different from the tone of that. And I just thought it was very cleverly done, as well as it does have a little bit of a political message, but it's not a beat you over the head type thing about, you know, whether women are being gaslit or how women have to fear in society type of stuff. But Maika Monroe, she is an actress who really deserves more credit than she gets. Like, I know she was in that terrible Independence Day sequel, but between It Follows, this, and some other indie work she's done, she is just an untapped talent that deserves more roles like this. And she's in almost every frame of this movie, and she nails it. So this super impressed me. So watch her.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. I think she's great too. Yeah.
You gotta watch that. Okay, Philip, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is a real upbeat film. It's called Natural Enemies.
Oh God!
Put out by Fun City Editions. Now, I had never heard of this. Again, the films I'd never seen or heard of. For the most, well, I'd heard of Freeway, but this I'd never heard of. Yeah, this one blew me away. I don't need to say much. I don't. Do people know this film?
I do.
No, but the actor on the cover looks like the guy from Creepshow.
Yeah,
Is that him?
Holbrook.
That's right. It's Al Holbrook.
Tell us the plot.
Oh, sure.
Briefly.
So, today, Paul Stewart is planning to kill his wife, his children, and himself. And that is basically the story of the movie.
Well, first he's going to spend a weekend with like 5 whores or something like that.
He does that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as you do. As you do. You know, as you do. So I mean, it blew me away. And Louise Fletcher unfortunately passed away this year. So many did, but it's quite a powerful film. But I also found myself. I know I don't have kids, and all my friends have kids and families and all that good stuff. But I found myself listening to the internal monologue of Hal Holbrook and laughing. And that's when I realized I have a really fucked up sense of humor. So yeah. Anyway, no, but no. In all seriousness, there is a certain almost Todd Solondz like comedy to it, if you will. It's rough. It's rough going. But I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. It is not for the faint of heart. And the strange thing about it too is, I mean, it shows the range of the director is that Jeff Canoe did Revenge of the Nerds. So he goes from Natural Enemies to Revenge of the Nerds. So there you go. Anyway, that's my number. I guess that's my number 2. Is that number 2? We're at number 2. Okay, there it is. All right.
All right, we're here. We're at the end. Number 1. Only 3 hours later.
Is it my fault? Is it my fault?
No. I mean, it's just conversation. It gets away from us.
Hey, we have nothing on Twitch streamers. I don't know how they do 7 and 8 hours. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That's true.
Easy. All right. Number 1. It's been mentioned before, but I'm gonna mention it because it's absolutely my favorite movie of the year. I love it. It's so beautiful, and that is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. So great. All of it was so wonderful, and it's the kind of movie where I saw the trailer and I go, "This one is gonna be my favorite movie of the year." And I saw it, and it's still. And I saw this at the beginning of this year, of 2022. It was actually the first movie I saw in 2022. And it's exactly what I wanted it to be, and more. I mean, the fact that now I can look at googly eyes and get like a warm feeling through me, like that's power. That a movie can do that and remind you of things. Like every time I look at a bell, I think of It's a Wonderful Life. You know what I mean? So this movie was able to take something so innocuous like the googly eye, and which when you get to the movie, it makes more sense. We'll get to the end of it. The googly eye has so much power, and the scene with the rocks, God, it's just so beautiful when the rock turns around. Oh my God, it's such a simple, beautiful thing, and as a parent, it was so powerful just to see this fantastical story about a mother-daughter relationship. Even the dad getting involved. I love the stuff that looked like Wong Kar-wai, like a Wong Kar-wai movie. Oh my God, how beautiful, how exquisite. The most exquisite piece of cinema was that Wong Kar-wai world. Like, they capture that feel and the way they talk to each other, the way that I think is Ki-Hu Kwan, I think is how he pronounces it, the way he expresses his feelings to Michelle Yeoh in that moment. I don't even want to say what I feel that scene is, because I don't want to take anything away from it, because I think it's such a wonderful, beautiful moment about relationships and love and family, and it's got karate fights and dick fingers. I mean, what the hell? This is amazing. You don't see this in movies nowadays, but this absolutely deserves to be Best Picture of the Year. I think it's one of those movies that will just grow and grow and be one of those movies that people will discover and revisit and rewatch. It's a rewarding experience, and you absolutely must see it. I know TC's been holding back for some reason, but see it, dude.
I know. I want to watch it.
You're gonna love
it. I'm tempted to blind buy it, actually. So.
Blind buy it.
I'm with TC. I've also held back for some reason. I think it's just I've seen frenetic editing, and again, as I said, with modern cinema, as you can see from my selection so far, they're very retrograde. I've held back a little bit just because of the editing style I've seen.
Watch it. The editing style is part of the story. You will enjoy it. And honestly, if you don't, you don't. But I think the movie is.
No, I will.
Is really trying to say something.
I will. There's a personal connection to the film too. But I definitely will watch it. So,
and it's the rise of data and Short Round again, and he's amazing. That dude is so cool, man. And it would be amazing if he won an Oscar for this. Everybody would have big smiles in that auditorium. Oh my god, it's so great.
I love that there's an age difference, but they never mention it, because if you remember when he was playing Data in Short Round, Michelle Yeoh was a grown woman.
Yeah,
I remember she was in a movie with Cynthia Rothrock. I think it was called No Ma'am or No Madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam. Yeah.
Yes, madam.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. And it works. They're great together. They're just fantastic together. It's a great movie. My favorite movie of the year. Love it. And in case you're wondering, yes, I bought the physical, but I waited for a sale. That's how much. Even though I liked it, I ain't paying full price. I'm sorry. I don't do that thing. All right, Rolf, what's your number one, man?
Okay, so I do want to say one honorable mention. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, I thought was fantastic. It's such a weird original film. You can't describe it, but it's funny, it's heartfelt, it's touching, it's and stop animation with a little shell, but it's about family. It's you just have to see it. So that's a great movie. The only reason why I didn't give Everything Everywhere All at Once is because there was one film, although you may not count it, but it was a whole new experience because of the way it was shown. Was seeing Jaws in 3D was amazing. Did you see it?
I have it on DVD in 3D, and it's great.
The conversion of the first movie, right?
Yeah. I watched that. Yeah.
I thought. I've seen Jaws, so it's not the first time I've seen it, but it's the first time I saw it like this. So I thought that was just mind-boggling.
I'll allow it because it's a new version of the movie. But
that's why I said, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Jaws 3D. That's good. Yeah, that was in 3D.
Jaws in 3D. Don't say Jaws 3D because that's the third one.
Yeah, Jaws in 3D.
Oh, that's the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about Jaws 3D. Okay, so I don't have Jaws in 3D. I have
Jaws, the first Jaws in 3D.
Oh, that one. No,
the original
I haven't seen
Spielberg classic. That's the one you have to see.
Oh, wow.
It goes Everything Everywhere All at Once, Jaws 3. And then
that's why it's Jaws in 3. Yeah. If you didn't count it, even though it was last year's Oscars, but I saw it in January, I was shocked how much I did love Spielberg's West Side Story. I thought he did a fantastic job on that movie, that directing-wise, energy-wise, one of his best. Opposite of the Fablemans.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. And it's funny, Fablemans almost felt directorless. Like it didn't really have a flavor to it. It just felt very plain.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Until the last scene.
Until the last scene. Yeah. Absolutely. Fantastic. Very good. Thank you, Rolf. Tracker, what's your number one favorite?
My number one is, I think, a sequel that we all needed, and that was Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, man.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was a great bridge from the originals. And even though I can say, like, I did enjoy to a degree the all-female version in an alternate universe kind of way, I guess. But that's like under that bridge that I was just talking about. So, but yeah, I think Ghostbusters Afterlife was great. Like it really hit the spot, I think, yeah. And hopefully it opens up to future things too.
Well, they're already making part 2. It's coming out
yeah.
next year.
No, but I'm saying, like I'm looking forward to what they got down the line.
I love it. Yeah, I agree. That was very, very good. Cried like a baby, man. Amazing.
Excuse me.
No worries. Lady Sasha, number one.
I was actually to say something about what Tracker just said. I actually was too harsh when I first saw the Ghostbusters, the all lady version, and then I asked myself, is it nostalgia? Because the original Ghostbusters came out when I was 9 years old, which was like the perfect age to watch that. And I said to myself, if I were a 9-year-old girl watching those ladies as Ghostbusters, would I enjoy it? And I think I still would have. But my number one is a South Indian movie called RRR, which is Rise, Roar, Revolt. And it's not to be confused with a Bollywood movie. This is a South Indian movie. And what's great about it is it's a period piece that takes place during the British colonial rule in India, and the two main characters are adversaries at first, then they kind of have a friendship, then adversaries again, they go back and forth. But you see the movie from both of their points of view of why they believe and what they believe in. But the other thing that's great about it is, on one hand, it is telling some true Indian history, and the two men that it's about were real historical figures. But then it takes this fantastical approach to the action sequences that it made me feel like a kid again. It made me feel like when I first watched like Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, Excalibur, those type of movies where you have these great action sequences. And I would also compare it to 300 a little bit. Some of the action sequences were a little bit like 300, but it really, I watched it several times. It's a 3-hour movie, but it didn't feel like 3 hours. It's so much action, so much drama. It's probably the best movie I saw this year. I think that a close second that's not horror would be Wakanda Forever, but I feel like the RRR maybe edged it out by just a pinch if we're talking about fantastical action movies.
Love it. That's RRR almost made the list. That's a super fun movie. Especially if you like Schwarzenegger type 80s movies. There's a lot of that super goofiness, the whole tiger thing, and it's great. Yeah, it's a really fun movie. Excellent choice. Tony, what's your number one?
Number one is There's Nothing Out There.
Great, good choice.
I figured I'd come back with that again. Well, I had them on my list. I have, what I have, and then I totally forgot about Everything Everywhere All at Once. And now where everybody's talking about it, I'm like, I'm going to change that again. So I guess that's kind of an honorable mention.
Okay.
But I'm going to be, biased here, but the movie I'm in, Night of the Axe.
Really? Okay.
I'm going to say it's my favorite thing because I'm in it and I'm not embarrassed of my acting or my parts in it, which I was terrified about. Like I don't know if I want to tell everybody about this. And now it's like, I think it worked out great with me in it. And I'm happy with what he did with my parts. And I think it's a fun movie, and I enjoyed it. I've watched it a few times and everything. So, yeah, Night of the Axe.
I love it. And is that available anywhere right now?
Yeah, there's. I'll get you the links. There, you can stream it, buy it streamed, and then you can pre-order the DVD or Blu-ray. And I guess those will be out like January, I think he said. So
cool.
Congratulations, Tony.
Nice. Yes.
Thank you. Well done, man.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I'm my character's that love. I like to say that lovable asshole. Like
who doesn't love an asshole? It's delicious.
Lovable.
That's fantastic.
Doesn't love an asshole.
LD, what's your number one?
All right. I'm not saying this to suck up or anything, but my number one is The Headless Horseman.
Oh my god. Okay.
Of course, directed by our very own Master Chaos. Hey, man, I think you did a great job with it. It's a lot of fun. I love how The Headless Horseman came out, and it was just great fun. I love that there's not a whole lot of setup. It's like you get what you need to get started, and we get right into the adventure. And I watched it with my wife, and we both really, really enjoyed it. So kudos, my friend.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Check's in the mail. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Do you have any honorable mentions you want to toss out?
I already mentioned the Batman as an honorable mention, but no, I don't think I have any other honorable mentions.
Okie dokie. Lennon Hawk, what's your number one?
With apologies to the lady Sasha, my number one is David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future. It was low-key the most political movie of the year, since nobody seemed to pick up that the entire movie is about supporting progressivism and moving the human race forward and against conservatism and reactionary politics, while at the same time also being a metaphor for the film industry and censorship and co-opting of that. Plus, the marketing didn't tell anybody how funny the movie is. There's Kristen Stewart is hilarious in it, and there's a scene where Viggo Mortensen gets his stomach pussy eaten out. It's great.
I totally did.
Why did you like that, Sasha?
The future, you said.
I think maybe I missed it because, like I said, I kept falling asleep on it, so I probably missed a lot of the subtexts. I got to watch it while I'm fully awake.
I never heard of this before, but now I'm interested.
As a shameless shout out to my own channel, if you go on there after the stream, you can see my entire top 10, and I go into even more detail about why I loved Crimes of the Future so much. So I am a full-fledged Cronenberg simp, and I can't wait to see his son's movie next month.
Yeah, because I would like to hear your breakdown on what you were just saying about the political and also the film industry stuff, because the film industry stuff went completely over my head. I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, the organs board is basically like a film censorship board, and the SARC stuff is like how you're trying to co-opt art for monetary gain without solving any problems and all that kind of stuff.
And there's a stomach pussy, so there's that.
Yeah.
Always comes in handy. All right, Philip, you're it. You're the end. What's your number one favorite?
Well, okay. Well, first of all, I wanted to congratulate you on filming a movie during COVID. So
technically, it was over, but yeah.
It's not over.
Oh, yeah, in terms of production wise, we didn't have to worry too much.
Still, anyway, but
thank you.
Congratulations. I agree, sir. Crimes of the Future is my number one film of the year.
Oh, wow.
But it is tied with another film that is old called Murder in a Blue World, which is out via Cauldron. But in all honesty, I have to say that Crimes of the Future is my number one pick. I went to see it on opening weekend with my dad, actually. And for some reason, when I saw the trailers, I thought, this is going to be a hit. Oh, yeah. All in. Oh, yeah. This is going to be a big hit. And, wow. Boy, I would have lost a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
So I went opening weekend. It was me, my father, and two other fellas. And that was about it. And that was it. And it was just dead. And it came out just about the week around or the week after Top Gun Maverick, and I was like, God damn it, why this should be doing Top Gun Maverick numbers. I love Crimes of the Future. I don't need to get into any of I did a review of it anyway. I don't need to get into the reasons why and the philosophical reasons why and all the subtext and all of that. But it spoke to me like none other, and I don't go to the movies often because it's this again, as I said, the city is falling apart, and I did grow up in David Cronenberg's The Shadow. Like this shadow looms large in this city, so it's kind of feels. I've always felt like I've grown up in Cronenberg's Toronto. So yeah, even though this one was filmed in Greece. There are parts of it that very much feel like Kensington Market, and it was written for Toronto originally. Originally, it was supposed to be like Nicolas Cage and then like Ray Fiennes or somebody like that. Anyway, there are a few people because it was written around the time of Crash. Anyway, I adore Crimes of the Future. So
can I ask you too something? I saw on Twitter a few tweets that said that there was some callbacks to, I want to say it was Existence. They said. Did you guys pick up on anything like that? I haven't seen Existence, so I didn't.
Existence has a lot of that weird body, kind of mechanical things. There's like a bone gun and things like that. So there's a lot of that stuff in there, but I don't know about any direct references to that universe. Lennon Hawk, did you?
That was his last body horror film before he went in a different direction with stuff like A History of Violence and stuff. So if this was written around the same time as Crash, which was just before that, then it makes sense that they have the same connective tissue. Thematically, they're different though. Existence is a lot more about like the internet and stuff. It was very much like Cronenberg's version of The Matrix, and it was sort of about that sort of thing. This one is a lot more about sort of the body and evolution and environmental disaster, that kind of thing.
That was Cronenberg that did The Brood, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I know him from The Brood, The Fly, there's some that's Dead Ringers.
Scanners.
Dead Ringers is probably my favorite Cronenberg film.
Dead Ringers, really interesting.
Yeah, my very first girlfriend's grandmother was in one of his films. She gets beaten to death in one of his films. I won't say which one, but anyway. But yeah,
What a
as I
memory.
said, his tentacles in this city, they loom large, and they're all over the place. It's very strange. I have so many funny stories.
There's one more, but the name is escaping me, and all I can remember is James Wood saying, "Long live the flesh." Was that-
Videodrome.
Yes, thank you, Videodrome.
Graham sent me that 4K from Arrow. He kindly bought that for me, so it's on its way. So looking forward to that.
Hold on one second. Okay. Well, let's wrap it up. We're certainly we're deep into this, but we don't want to keep anybody too long. We are almost at the last day of the year, so this was going to be the last episode here on the channel for this year, but I decided to throw out one special episode tomorrow, and that is my most anticipated films of 2023. So stay tuned for that video coming sometime tomorrow, depending on when you watch this. So as I say goodbye to my guests, I'm going to ask them to sort of, give a brief, mention of either their channels or what they're up to next. And then they're going to tell me what their number one most anticipated movie of next year is. Maybe it'll appear on the list at the next year's show. We shall see. Let me start from the bottom, and I'll work my way up. Okay, Philip, let me know kind of what you're up to and what your most anticipated movie is for next year.
Well, right now I'm writing and basically just sort of putting all things together into a book. It's sort of about the film industry post-COVID, but also physical media. There, believe it or not, there's going to be a little section on you, pal. And
Great.
Yeah. No, genuinely speaking. But I'll talk to you about it later. But yeah, it's really about how the film industry has changed since COVID. Also, lockdown, how that changed viewing habits. COVID protocols on film sets, all sorts of things like that. But also a collection of my reviews. I have a really, I think, kick-ass name for it that I will not say here. And there's other things afoot. There's another website that is being developed, not by me, and I've been invited to join it and write for them. And I just write. And you know what? I don't have any skin in the game. I'm just doing it for the passion of film, and that's what I love. And I just like writing reviews. And you can find me on Facebook, Philip Jeffries, right now at this moment. On Facebook, my moniker is the genius, the Jizza from Wu-Tang Clan. So that's what I look like. That is the one you'll find. Although so that's me. So if you want to read my reviews or whatever, sure, send me a friend request if you've seen this stream, and if you hit me up and you're cool, sure. So,
if you're cool,
if you're cool.
What are you looking forward to next year?
I honestly, Succession, the TV show Succession, the new season of that.
Okay.
I don't know about movies, man. I like you could see, I had nothing from 2022. I was sitting there listening to you all, and I was taking mental notes because I didn't watch anything this year, basically. Just Crimes of the Future, The Batman, and maybe a couple other things. So I did actually learn quite a bit about more modern films because I've kind of turned it off. So, and it's not a good thing to do because it's always bad to shut off your horizons. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
It does. We get it. I love it. Check him out on Facebook, guys. I'm gonna have the links for everybody in a little bit down there.
Thanks,
and appreciate you being on, dude.
Thank you for having me, and that's all I will say. Thank you, MC. I love you.
Oh man, my pleasure. Lennon Hawk, what do you got going on, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, you can find me by Googling Lennon Hawk or David Lennon Hawk. You'll find all my internet stuff. after you finish the stream, you can go watch my video where I go over 10 through 6, since you've already heard 1 through 5 of my top films of the year. And so I'm the one person here who seemed to have loved Scream 5, which is my number 6. So you can go hear my reasons for that and see if I'm right or wrong. My most anticipated movie for next year is Brandon Cronenberg's Infinity Pool with Mia Goth, because Cronenberg simp. So,
can I change my answer?
Too late. You said TV. Doesn't count. Okay.
Yeah.
LD. We'll go with LD. What we got looking forward to on your channel, and what are you waiting for?
I don't know what movie I'm excited about next year, because I haven't really kept up of what's coming out next year. So I'll just be surprised along with the rest of you. But you can check out my YouTube channel, LD Madeira Magic. I've got some new magic coming out. I've just posted 2 new shorts on there. And I've had a lot of people ask me to do this, and so I finally pulled the trigger and done it. I have now entered the world of TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. So you can now find me on TikTok at LD Madeira Magic, of course. And yeah, stay tuned, because there will be some more fun stuff along the way.
Amazing. Guardians 3 is coming out. I think you'd probably be into that.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Guardians 3.
There you go. Awesome. All right, Tony. What's going on, and what are you looking forward to?
Nothing going on. I'm just going to be doing more reviews and stuff. And the only thing I'm looking forward to right now is talking with you again on the 1st. Everybody. So
that's right.
Good start of the year.
Is this when you guys are re-upping on your vinegar syndrome?
Oh yeah, that's exactly when it is. Yeah. Yep. That's what's gonna happen.
That's what's
happening. Are you looking forward to anything, Tony?
I like LD. I don't know what's coming out, but Guardians coming out. That sounds pretty exciting.
You got Scream 6, Indiana Jones 5,
Quantumania.
I would probably say Scream 6. It's like a cool little teaser trailer.
Yeah.
I heard Tracker say Quantumania. That's going to be up your alley for multiverses.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Quantumania.
Oh, that's right.
Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that too. A lot of Marvel.
There you go. Lady Sasha.
You guys are going to laugh at me. I'm looking forward to Cocaine Bear.
No, that's great.
Who isn't?
But by the way, a follower of your channel and also Graham's and a reader of mine, Andy Gardner, was focus puller on Cocaine Bear.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that is great.
Yeah. So that's pretty wicked. Yeah,
Cocaine
awesome.
Bear. It's great. What are you doing on your channel?
Great time.
Well, this week coming up, I'm going to be doing a doll-a-thon leading up to Megan, even though she's technically a robot, she's kind of a doll. And I love killer doll movies. Like, that's one of my favorite subgenres of horror is a good killer doll movie. Also on Tuesday, we'll be back with Hood Podcast, where we talk about news of the weird and all things geek culture. So most likely we'll probably talk about that situation at IHOP, and then whatever fantasy movie or TV show is coming up, because we usually cover like all the Game of Thrones, Witcher. I called it the boredom of the rings. We covered all those, and. To find me, of course, my channel is called What Did I Just Watch? But on social media, my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok are all at Horror Freak, and it's horror and freak is spelled FREQ. And I'm gonna find you, LD, on TikTok. We're having a good time over there.
All righty, I'll see you there.
And then Lady Sasha and I will be doing something in the new year, but I don't think we can announce it just yet. So, can we announce it? I don't know if we're allowed to.
Do you mean for York? There's so many things. It's for York show or for TTFT?
The TTFT thing, yeah.
Yeah, TTFT. Well, actually, I'll just say go subscribe to them. They have great content, a lot of podcast format, kind of like what we're doing right now, but also a lot of great interviews with people inside the industry, actors, directors, writers, that sort of thing. But they will also be doing a quiz show type of thing into February. I think it's going into February.
It's gonna be fun. So it's a
Yes.
TTFT podcast, right?
I think it's just called TTFT. Is it TTFT TV?
TTFT.
I just know if you type in TTFT, the channel pops up.
Yes. TT. Oh, what the hell? I wrote something else that I'm not gonna say out loud. Hold on.
They also do a series of our
oh.
friends' favorite movies, which is I would love to see you on that, Jose.
Okay.
They gotta have you come through and talk about your favorite movies. Yeah.
We have a lot of interesting ones. Yeah, TTFT shows. Yeah, we'll be doing something with them next year. That'll be fun. TC, what are you looking forward to next year? I know there's a lot of stuff.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff I really wasn't prepared, but I guess if I have to pull something out of my hat, just out of the curiosity as to what direction they're gonna go with is Scream 6. I'm just curious what trajectory, because I'm a fan of the franchise as well, and I just really want to see what's gonna happen with that.
Not Indy 5. I thought you would totally say Indy 5. No,
but there's too many things. There's too many things, so I just pulled a random movie really out of my ass.
And not RoboCop versus Alien.
That one is right.
Wait, is that a thing that exists?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
you almost got a heart attack. RoboCop is one of my RoboCop 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Well,
there's
a game RoboCop versus Aliens.
Yeah, and Terminator.
Yeah, there is a game. Yeah.
Terminator.
And stay tuned for RoboCop Ends.
RoboCop Ends.
No.
RoboCop's
No.
I'm still salty about that PG-13 plastic-looking RoboCop.
Oh man.
Neil Blomkamp was gonna do a legacy sequel that ignores 2 and 3 and was gonna be a direct sequel to the original RoboCop with the original screenwriters, but it fell apart.
Oh.
I'm worried for the Short Circuit remake because.
No, that.
Oh, please no.
We already had a Short Circuit remake. It was called Wall-E.
That's true.
As long as there's no brown face in this one, because Fisher Stevens needs work, but still.
Oh yeah. I was like a complete adult when I found out that was not an actual Indian man. I was like,
when I went to see Hackers, I'm like, what happened to him?
What the hell? This guy's a really good Indian actor.
Yeah. I actually have a funny story about that. My mother walked into Tropic Thunder and she didn't see the beginning of it. And she said, "Who is that black actor? He's so funny. He should get awards." And my sister said, "That's Robert Downey Jr." And she's like, "No." She said, "I'm talking about the black actor." And my sister's like, "No, that's Robert Downey Jr." She really believed it.
Wow.
Well, good. It worked.
That's how good he is.
Wow.
Props to his acting skills then.
Yes. They try to cancel him on Twitter every 6 months. And then Tropic Thunder fans come out and say, "No, this one we're going to let slide."
Oh my God.
Steve Thomas Howell's hoping no one rents Soul Man.
Oh.
I have it
movie had
right
a
down
good
there on
point, though.
VHS.
I know people are going to hate me. They're going to I don't know. But that movie had a good point at its core.
Yeah.
Soul Man, that is, I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Anthony Michael Hall in Weird Science. He's got a few moments in there.
Oh, yeah. When they went down to Chicago, into the jazz bar. And I was
fucking hell, man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He should have played Tommy Doyle like that.
I don't remember the character being like this. Anyway, okay. Sorry, Rolf. What do you got going on, man? And what can we look forward to? And what are you looking forward to next year?
All right. Well, next year, what I'm looking forward to first is because already the publicity machine has been insane. When you're willing to risk your life in every advertisement for a movie, the new Mission Impossible film. I mean,
oh yeah,
and they're getting better and better. So you got to give him credit. He's insane.
Did you see him jump out of the plane for advertisement?
And there's the 10-minute promo of him doing the stunt, the motorcycle jump, and
he's gonna die in one of those things, and that's
yeah. Well, he's doing Jackie Chan. You know, I don't know how
even Jackie Chan would be like, no.
Jackie Chan actually does have stunt doubles. In Rumble, New York, he did do the jump from building to building once, and then his stunt double did it 2 more times, and they put together the clips of the best.
Yeah.
But, well, he was old at that point.
Yeah,
he was older. Yeah.
After he cracked his head, he's like, I'm not doing this.
And then for me, in terms of what I'm got going, I guess I'm going to quickly past, present, and future. So some of my older horror films are coming out again, Blu-ray for the first time this coming year. Nightmare Man, which is going to have a wider release on Amazon and places like that, end of January. Also, the soundtrack is coming out in February from Klaatu Records, a new record company, and they're doing the CDs. And they're also going to be doing the Hazing, which we're hoping is also going to come out through Ronin Flicks. And There's Nothing Out There, your favorite and worst last film this year. And so those would be fun. And even Nothing Out There's going to be a LP record. They're doing the soundtrack. We're working on remastering the music from audio cassettes that I have, which are the only master. It's amazing. So I know what they can do now. Then I've got I'm working on a script and gonna maybe direct a Lifetime movie called Psycho Soccer Mom.
Oh, I love it. I
Mm.
love I love Lifetime movies.
Yeah, so that's we'll see how that goes. A couple things I wrote. There's coming out later on. The Macabre, which is a horror anthology done in Vegas by a filmmaker, first-time filmmaker named Eric Mathis. Night of the Tommyknockers, which was my Western horror film that I think just came out. It's directed by Michael Sue, and it's Richard Grieco. It's a fun sort of throwback Western monster movie. And then we'll see this year, but I probably should talk about it. But I have a meeting to possibly direct a project called Forever Vibes, based on a pretty well-known series.
Oh,
very nice.
So we'll see how that goes.
Amazing.
Thanks. And yeah, a couple other things in the works. I'm hoping the one, fingers crossed, is I wrote a sequel to Nightmare Man called Nightmare Demon that Tiffany Shapis is going to star in and produce with me, hopefully continuing the story from Nightmare Man, which would be kind of cool. There's some really fun stuff in that I've been wanting to do for a while.
Amazing.
So hopefully we can get the money for that. See where it goes.
Amazing, dude. Well, fingers
Thanks.
crossed. We're gonna have you back on.
Okay.
Because it was nice to reconnect through the asylum, and we haven't chatted in a while, so I'm glad we were able to team up again and
Yes.
and get back on each other's radar. As the pandemic, things, everyone has to sort of like we had to sequester, but now we're all getting back into it. So I'm glad we're back in touch. So Rolf will be back.
Okay.
And if you have any questions specifically about his films, send them to me, and I'll.
Yeah. Or you
put
can
them
find me on
together.
Facebook, Rolf Knewsky.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Write his name in there, and
Yeah.
he's very approachable. A very approachable young man, this Rolf Knewsky. As for me, what I'm looking forward to the most, well, you'll watch the video tomorrow, but I'll tell you two of them. Renfield, starring Nicolas Cage as Dracula. Hell yes.
Yeah,
Absolute. That's gonna fucking be amazing. And then Scream 6. It's got to be Scream 6, but I think I'm more scared, nervous about it than excited to watch it. But I'm gonna watch it as soon as I can, and I hope it's good. Like I said, it could fix the problems of Part 5, the issues that I had with it, or it could implode and be the last Jedi of the franchise, and then that's it. And then I cut ties officially. Do not kill Sidney Prescott off camera. Do not kill Courtney Cox. Please, Gail Weathers must live. And I'll be happy. Kirby, I love Kirby, but I'm okay if you lose her. But because as far as I knew, I thought she died. But fine, I'm glad she's here. I love Kirby. Anyway, on this channel tomorrow, like I said, top 10 of what I'm looking forward to next year, and then the day after, January 1st, the party continues because we're gonna go live earlier than ever. It's gonna be noon for 11:30. For EST and 8:30 a.m. for PST. So it's really early for me. I'm probably going to stay up all night to roll right into it because Vinegar Syndrome announces their subscriber week. We're going to get a whole bunch of new announcements. I think 4 new titles, partner titles, and then the 10 items for $10 sale. So there's a lot going on, and we're going to be doing that on the 1st. And then, of course, the panel shows continue. I'll announce it now. We don't have a full name for it yet, but Mr. Tony the Dead and I have a spin-off of our Voyage to the Bottom of the Barrel show, which is going to focus on erotic thrillers. And basically those titty movies from the 80s and 90s where there was action scenes and then the girl had to go take a shower for 20 minutes. We are going to suffer through those films for you and discuss them on a show that right now is called The Boob Tube, but it may change. We don't know. We're working on it.
Don't forget to include the Emmanuel movies.
Oh, they'll be there. They shall be there. They shall be there.
Manuel movies.
Yes, we used to talk about those in middle school every Monday because Cinemax would play them on Fridays at 11 p.m. and we'd be in industrial arts class on Monday. Did you see the Emmanuel? Which one? The one with 1 N or 2 N's or 2 L's? Because it was like several companies that made them, and then there was also Black Emmanuel.
Well, if you ever want to talk about Emmanuel.
Oh, definitely.
Experience.
Oh, Rolf, I'll reach out. That sounds great. Yeah, my Emmanuel is Emmanuel in Space. Krista Allen, that's mine. That's my special.
The last official series produced by Alon Saritsky, who I worked with for 20 years.
Oh my God!
I did the whole series.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I worked on the last 3 or 4 series of Emmanuel's right after Emmanuel in Space, so I know that world better than anybody.
Woo! Okay, well then you're in. That's amazing.
Musical. Did a full-out musical.
Did you really?
Oh wow!
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's called Adventures into the Woods.
Okay. As long as there's nudity, I'm there. All right, let's call it a day. Everybody in this panel is amazing, so please go find them in some way, shape, or form. TC doesn't really have any YouTube or anything, but you can find him here. He'll be back, and he'll actually be joining us on the 1st as well for the Vinegar Syndrome show. Everyone else here is amazing. They're wonderful people, and I'm honored to have shared nearly 4 hours with them discussing 2022. You guys are wonderful. I'm honored to have you here. Let's call it a night. Everyone, wave to the audience at home and wish them a Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank everyone here too. Thank you all. Thank you.
Yeah. Y'all ready for this?